Well, hello everyone. This is Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps, and we are over here on the Casino Gaming YouTube TV channel, network channel, whatever you want to call it. And we're out to episode 16 of Craps Chat. It's hard to believe that we are episode 16. We have some guests in the green room. We've got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in the guest. Guys, right off the bat, join the show. You don't have to show your face. You know, there's a couple people that's come on the show before that don't show their face, and we're happy to have them along. And if you don't have an internet connection or you don't have a way to get through the internet, did you know that you can do it by telephone? Go I guess you'd have to have the internet, but the telephone numbers are listed on the Craps Chat website, and you don't have to connect with a device. You don't have to use anything. You don't have to have a Zoom app. You don't have to get in through Zoom. Go to crapschat.com, find your local number, call in. I'll let you in, and you'll be able to chat with us just like a regular old talk show that you see, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on the radio, on the television. We're all here for you guys. We've got YouTube content providers with us tonight, but we would like to see some subscribers. We would like to see some viewers, and we would like to see you. No doubt about that. Anyway, guys, it's 9 o'clock. It's time to get this show on the road. I had a different intro. We started just a few minutes late. You know me, the voice. I could talk forever. I could BS with the best, but we were BSing in the green room. Time passed us. Let's get this show on the road. All right, there's the show opener. We say hello to everybody that is here today. And in the green room, we do have our co-host, Dylan from Skill and Luck. We've also got John, who's going to give us an update on the cure for craps. That's going to be our first topic today. And we've got a couple people in Zoom. Seriously, guys, you guys have got to get over to the Zoom, telephone, computer, tablet, phone. Just join the show. We'd love to have you. It's not about us, the content providers. It's about everybody. If you played craps this weekend, pick up the phone, pick up the tablet, get on the computer, and come on and join the show, because this is all about you. Hopefully we try to go at least an hour. If you know the show and you've been here through most of the episodes, we went pretty long. 2 weeks ago we had a post show. We had some people join us in the post show, and we talked for almost an hour and a half off camera, off screen, and yeah, what can I say? We go until my equipment dies because it's battery operated. We do know we have a football game going. The last I looked, the 49ers were winning. We will be showing that up on the little ticker here coming up today. Let's go ahead, without further ado, and let's go bring in our guests today who are here. I'm trying to figure out which screen I want to bring in here. Here we go. Let's bring this one in. All right, there we are, guys. Make sure everybody's audio is live. We've got the creator and co-host of the show right over there. There's Dylan. Beneath me, John from Pro Craps, and also who puts this channel together for us. And then look at those Degens. I guess that's down that way. Down that way. Look, 3 of them. We've got Chris from Dice Degens. See, they're Degens. We have got Craig from Old Bay Craps, and we've got Ed from Roll to Win. Guys, welcome to each one of you. How are you guys doing today? Anybody? Ed's got a thumbs up. All right. Cool. Well, we've got a great show, guys, lined up for you. We're going to hand it over, and we're going to kind of like pass the torch to John for a few minutes. He's going to give us an update. He's got some information about what's going to happen regarding the cure for craps coming up. We've got a definite date. He's going to talk about it. Before he does that, if you have a question, please use a capital Q so that I can search for those things. Don't put the @ Jeff, because I don't know whether you're talking to me or you're talking about me. I'm not sure who's raffling some something in there, but somebody's got something in my ear there. Anyway, put a Q, but if it's a question for John, then put Q and John, and then put the question out there. I'll be monitoring it. I can queue the questions up. We can put them up on the screen. The panel can see them, and we can answer that. So remember, if you have a question, please, by all means, put it in a queue. Now, the first one here today, he's on the screen, and I want to put this up here. He was here first in the chat 33 minutes ago. There's Craig from Old Bay, followed up by Arnell. Arnell, push the button, Jeff. Arnell was next, saying hello to everybody, and Cal from California Craps Club was next. They were the first three here. 33 minutes, 29 minutes, and 20 minutes ago, guys. All right, so John, come and tell us. The floor is yours. What do you have to tell us?
All right. Well, the first thing is it's craps for the cure, not the cure for craps, because there is no cure for craps. It's just a thing, right? But here's the big announcement. So I finally, like literally this afternoon, I talked to Dennis Leon over at Casino Gaming or Casino Quest, and we are locked in finally on our dates. So it's going to be November 18th and 19th. So we're going to go from essentially 5 o'clock ish or so on Friday the 18th of November, all the way through, probably all the way to 7 o'clock. So it'll be 26 hours, but 7 o'clock on Saturday, November the 19th. So it'll be 24 hours. We'll start at 5 o'clock. We'll close Casino Quest Saturday at 7 o'clock when the store closes. That's the announcement. We have an actual date. It's for reals. Details to be determined. Like some things I know for sure. I know that we're gonna be hosting it with my computer, my setup, but using the Casino Quest internet and the Casino Quest account, because they have the big subscriber account. We can do the super chats that go right to the charity, right to American Cancer Society. So beyond that, we're going to talk tomorrow about what we're going to do there. There's lots of ideas for things to do. The one thing we know for sure is going to happen is that Sideshow Gamble and Mid-Mo are going to have their final battle there, dealt by David. That we know for sure. I don't know what time it's going to be, but that will be held live for sure. I know that I'm going to battle against David in a match, and that's about it. We know those two things. Other than that, we have 24 hours to fill. So I'm looking for people to come. I'm looking for ideas and things to do. And we're looking to raise a pile of money. That's the whole point here. And I know, of course, Steve from Press by One will be there. This whole thing revolves around Steve reaching out to us originally because he got throat cancer, stage 4 throat cancer, which is no joke of a cancer and no joke of a level of the cancer. So he's fighting hard. Actually, he just posted on Facebook he was at a concert over the weekend. So he's getting out there, but he'll be there with us for sure, and he'll be able to talk about that. We're trying to get somebody from the ACS out there as well to work with us and kind of give on the scene, interview time, information, that sort of thing. So beyond that, there it is. We have a date. Book your tickets, get on out there. It's going to be 24 hours of mayhem, and then we're going to have a lot of live casino play with all of us after that. So I would love for all of y'all to be out there. So it's an open invite. That's it. We have 2 hours scheduled of the 26th. So everything else is all y'all. That's my announcement. And we'll talk more about during the week with the Coffee and Crap Show.
We will, but since I'm here right now, you know that I can't make it that weekend. Unfortunately, out of all the weeks in November, I can't make it. But hopefully, you know, John, that you've raised some money with the rollouts with Chris and Churro. I've raised some money doing the things that I've done with my pay it forwards. We're already ahead of the game, but we hope to quadruple it. Not quadruple it. Whatever the times that that the money that we've already know that's been pledged or that's been raised, we hope to exceed that by far, maybe 10, maybe even 15 times more than that.
So let me give you a sense of the money, Jeff. So the money works like this. Last year we raised like $6,400 roughly, somewhere in that neighborhood, 6,000 and change. This year already, you've raised over 1,000. The Chris and Chiro battles have raised about $350 thereabouts. We haven't started the thing yet. We're just kind of raising money ahead of time here, just kind of pre-funking this thing. I think we can get it double what we did last year. That's my goal, is to double last year's thing. And like Jerry Lewis every year with the muscular dystrophy thing, I'm always going to be shocked by how much we do. And I think that now that we have our audience is a little bigger, people they trust us more. They know what we're doing is for real. We've got some really, and by the way, if you have something to donate, I know Chiro's going to put up some items. Maybe we can show those, Chiro, what those are. Jeremy's going to put up again his old table felt from the old Color Up videos, the black one. That's going up for auction. David's got some cool stuff for auction. So if you have things that are cool historical things, or just interesting things that you have built, made, whatever, this is the time. Bring it on out there, and we'll auction those things off as part of it. It's going to be awesome.
All right. No, no.
Yeah.
You were doing a good job there talking. I was actually trying to
Well, that's what I do.
to do some stuff back here on my back end. You had the floor and you were going, John. I'm glad that we do finally have the date set. We know when it's
Yeah,
going to
me too.
be.
Me too. Yep.
It's definitely a good cause. You did it last year. Kudos to you from last year. My camera's getting ready to die. We did that last year, and I thought we did really well. I was proud of the Mac supporters. We did, as you know, a considerable amount last year, and
Yeah.
I started
No
early.
question.
And I'm one of those people that's my whole career I had to plan. So just start planning and doing things. With that said, there's a little bit of chat going on between both of them. Both Midmo Yo and Chris Sideshow Gamble are there. Guys, the Zoom is open. We've got more room in the Zoom beside Chris, Craig, and Ed that we're going to get to in just a few minutes. So what are you waiting for? If you're just a viewer of the show, come on in. Duracell put something up there. Duracell, if you don't want to show your face, I'd like to hear you on the channel here. You can come on in, and we'd love to talk to you. Duracell did want to promote something, and Duracell, I'm going to do this. He talked about promoting the smaller channels, including Great Craps, and I had this is from this slide I'm getting ready to show you guys is from last 2 weeks ago. I didn't update it because I wasn't going to do it. I just had to reload it. But these were the channels that we were promoting Duracell last week, 2 weeks ago, I should say. Those numbers have changed, guys. Don't pay attention to the numbers, but all those channels that you see there are all new ones. Let's go ahead and talk about them. Crooked River Craps, Dr. Dice, Dice Dr. Dan, Old Bay Craps, who's with us tonight, Great Craps, BGS Dice Den, Dr. S, Craps Energy, Don't Pass Craps, Golfer 2408, Silver Fox Craps, and Texas Crap Shooters. That's Alfredo, who happens to be in Vegas at the moment there anyway. So we want to support them all. And Duracell had put this this comment up here. I got to go back and find it. He wanted me to say, let's promote this channel. So we promoted them all there, Duracell. So guys, there's a lot of great content out there, a lot of great new content out there. Please, please, if you will, come on the show and join us tonight. So remember, if you've got a question, put it in a queue, and we'll go from there. So, John, I didn't see any questions come in directly unless I missed something regarding...
Nothing for this yet. No, there was a general question about there was a question about tipping, which you can queue up for later on for sure. So just quickly on the topic of the new channels, lots of great new content out there. I'm going to give you a plug real quick. So, you know, we have the Casino Gaming TV Discord. Jeff's got a Discord as well, Mid-Atlantic Craps Discord. And one of your channels on there is the Other YouTubers Videos channel, which every day that thing is flooded with like 10, 15 new videos from all the new YouTubers that are out there. Definitely jump on that Discord to find what's happening because there's so much content coming out. There's 10 videos a day from all the Craps channels. It's hard to keep up. I recommend subscribing to all the guys that you're seeing there. Hit the notification bell because at the very least you can use your phone and kind of swipe down and see all the new videos that you're supposed to see. If you don't hit the notification bell, YouTube kind of sucks at giving you the content from the people you follow. I have a hard time finding everybody's newest videos. I really do. I have to go to Jeff's channel to find them because YouTube always scrambles. I see stuff from like months ago in my feed, not always what you all put out every day. You have to kind of work for it. So definitely hit the notification bell on everybody's show so that you can know when something comes. That's a piece that we all seem to miss.
Yeah, let me get two things in here. I'm going to answer Leon's question right here. What's the Zoom link? It's in the description below, Leon. If you go to crapschat.com, it's also there too. Phone numbers are on the crapschat.com website. But you join, you'll be in a waiting room, and I'll go ahead and admit you. And look, speak of the devil, there he is. Second thing, John, let's talk about Discords. I have a Discord, you have a Discord. I just want to put out there that the Discords, the channel in my Discords that are being displayed are people that are in my Discord channel. So if you want your channel to be displayed like John just talked about, then you just become a member on John's and mine, and I'll add you to it, and it automatically puts the feed. And I think, John, either you put it in text or you said it the other day on one of your shows that you wake up every morning, you go to the Discord on my side, you go to the videos that came out, and you just hit the videos like. Guys, all those likes channels, the likes help every channel, but we hope that you are viewing some of the content, and I'm telling you, I can't keep up with the content. There's some providers putting, videos out 4 or 5 times a day. I just can't keep up with it.
You can't watch. So, none of time. But like them and put them in your watch list. I always do save for later. on most of those.
Yes.
And what I'll do is, when I get a break or I'm upstairs eating lunch, whatever, that's when I watch them. So it helps out. Hard to be organized when there's hundreds of things a month coming out.
Yeah, hundreds of things. I wouldn't say a month, easily. Probably hundreds of things, maybe even a week or every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and let's head to our panel. I'm still queuing up some things. These chats are coming in so fast. I'm kind of having a hard time staying ahead of everything. I'll make sure I'm on the right page. I'm already up to 10 pages of chat here. So let's go ahead and talk to Brian's in the audience. Brian, you too can join the Zoom. It's in the description below. Let's go ahead and say hello to our panel. I'm going to start with the lower. Is that what stage right? Whatever it is. Ed, I'm talking about you. Ed from Roll to Win is with us. Ed, how are you tonight?
Man, I'm always on the bottom. Don't you know that?
Well, this is a family show. That may not always be bad, but this is a family show.
Man.
Yeah, I know. I kept it clean. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing
15 minutes in.
I'm doing good.
He's on a mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. So welcome, Ed. We'll get back to you. Let's go ahead and say above you the current two-time reigning king of the mountain from Friday Night Fights, Craig from Old Bay Craps is here, representing Maryland very well. Craig, how are you?
I'm doing well, Jeff. Thanks.
Good. To your, I don't know, I'm getting mixed on stage right, stage left. Chris, just say hello. Chris from Dice Stage, my box man from this past Friday night, who was in beach weekend in Atlantic City and had a little bit of excitement in his town today. But Chris, how are you?
Doing well, Jeff. Pleasure to be here as always, and looking forward to chatting with all of you.
All right, and Leon, I just need you to. Yep, there you go. You clicked your mic on. How are you doing tonight? There is great Craps right there. Leon, who came on the after show 2 weeks ago. We had Leon came in, Big AZ came in, and somebody else came in, and we talked for about an hour and 20 minutes after the show last time. So if you want to get in the after show discussion, you got to be in Zoom. We're not going to stream that through YouTube because it gets pretty. Let's just say the language becomes colorful. So Leon, how are you?
It's like Craps Chat 2.0, to be continued version.
Correct. That is correct. All right, guys, you're doing a good job putting the Q in there. So let's hope that I'm catching all the questions because we need questions for tonight. So there's the panel. If you guys want to get in, I'm monitoring just to make sure that I don't see anybody else that wants to get in. It's very simple. Just click the Zoom and come in. So the one person that I failed to actually acknowledge today, who looks like he's really with the program today, and we're not going to talk about that. His better half is not going to be bothering him tonight. But she's there in spirits. I understand, Dylan, that Joey went away for the weekend, left the whole house with you and the dog. And how are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing good. Missing the wife, but yep, she's in a few states over from me, so she's doing her thing, family thing. But everything's good.
All right, cool. We're here, guys. You see in the lower, right beneath John and me, is the ticker of the game, the only Sunday night game that's being played tonight. As you see, evidently, the Broncos have scored a little while ago. The 49ers were up. We're going to keep that going. It'll disappear and come back every once in a while, but we'll have that score up there. And we're really worried about it. I spent about an hour and a half today talking to Dylan about the show, and we were really worried. We don't know what football is going to do to us. I know everybody has their favorite game. And
team.
What's that?
And
football
team.
makes us better.
Oh, okay. No, you're right. That's true, Craig. So here we are. I just looked to see how many we had on. We were up to about 40. I think it looks like we currently have 36. So, with that said, guys, looks like football is really not going to bother us, but we don't know that it's not. So we're going to continue to go on with our shows the way that we're doing it. And anybody have anything they'd like to discuss before I start queuing up some questions? Don't be bashful.
All I'll say is, how about them Eagles?
And Ravens.
How about
Yes.
the Eagles?
That's all I'll say.
That's right.
How about
That's
those
right.
Eagles?
I'm with you.
All right.
I'm with you.
And Ravens.
Except for
And
one
the
thing,
Ravens.
Chris. I love my Eagles, but can Gainwell get more than one carry a game? He's like my only running back. Everybody else got hurt. I got Gainwell.
That sounds like a fantasy problem for you.
Dude, my fantasy life is bad. It's so bad. But I mean, help a brother out down there. Point six.
You know where to find
Got
me. We
point
can
six
discuss.
points today. 0.6 points today. He gave me whatever.
Wow.
Sorry, Carson Wentz was eating some turf all day long, and I loved it. So
I know. Yeah, good game.
All right. Well, I will say this.
How about them Cowboys? Nah, nothing to mention about them.
We might have to have fantasy chat.
All right, guys. Here's a craps and a football story together, just for you guys, real quick. East Coast Craps and I played together 2 days in a row. Good day yesterday, okay day today for me. I'll let him speak for himself. In between, I communicated with Chris Dice and I said, Chris, they got sports betting here. Tell me something to bet on. He told me something to bet on, and it won. I didn't even know it won until he texted me. So there's your craps and football together. Let's go over and let's take a look at some questions here. Thank you, Chris, for your help with that. Now, maybe before we move on, real quick, John, a plug on your Discord, the fantasy football league that you have going, and then we'll get the craps. Either one of you, either Chris or John.
Oh, Chris.
Sorry, I missed it. What?
Over on John's Discord, you guys have a fantasy football league. Real quick, since we're talking about it, let's get that out of the way.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we do have a fantasy football league. There's 2 leagues. There's a free league and there's a paid league. Both are going well. For all those, I think people are having some fun with it, and it's a fun time. So I guess next year, if you're interested, anybody, get in the Discords. Right, we already plugged John's Discord. We already plugged Jeff's Discord, but I'm gonna keep plugging them. So get in there. All right, and you guys could join the fantasy, and you could take your shots at some of us are the kings of fantasy, so you can come take a shot. You can try and come join.
Not enough.
It's awesome. We're not enough, but
hard to smack talk when you're at the top, Craig.
Man,
I feel you. Being king of the mountain and all.
Oh man, here we go. Yeah. Yep. We all, after King of the Mountain on Friday nights, we hang out for a few minutes, and Chris and Craig and Eddie and I. Eddie had to leave because was he not the well-dressed person we've seen on Friday Night Fights?
He was the best dressed loser I've ever seen.
Whoa! Did you say loser? Wow, you are.
I'm sorry.
Mean,
he's the
Craig.
best dressed non-winner I've ever seen.
That is true, but he was the best dressed. That's true. Real quick here, let's go and give kudos out. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I meant to grab this picture and put it up here. I'll get it sometime during the show. Today, Chris over at Sideshow Gamble. Sorry, Midmo, we got to talk about Chris today. Casino Quest featured Chris's first roll on the table, and somebody put out there. Okay, Craig, it was you that said 30 roller Chris, awesome. I think he cashed up. He made the leaderboard. He's third row over, but he made the leaderboard. And well, if you haven't seen it yet,
awesome.
Go to Casino Quest, and they put it out there, and you can see Chris's roll. Okay, let's see here. I think Durso also said something about that too. I think that's it right there. Let's go. Let's take the tipping question. Let's go ahead and get to the tipping question. I know there was a lot of chat in there, so John, if you've been monitoring it, go ahead and let me know if I missed a couple comments.
I will.
But Kevin Smith wants to know that when you tip the dealers, do you tip them directly, make bets for them, or both? If you bet for them, what do you do? Put bets on it. Now, before we get to the panel and the comments that are going to come following this in the chat, I'll try to display some. East Coast and I had a conversation about that. I'm not going to get into our locals. I don't want to talk bad about either one of them, but we have a process that we do, and it's different for each casino. I typically put a line bet up when I'm shooting. If I'm up, I put other bets that are out there along the way. I do know some people, they cash out. They're up, let's say they're up $400. They have, 4 red chips and 4 white chips, they throw it out there. So with that said, I do it both ways. I am customer service based. If I get good service, you get a good tip. I was married to a waitress or 2. Anyway, and they work hard for the money. So with that said, how about anybody in the panel while I go take a look at the chat? Anybody?
I'll start it. I wrote it in chat. I've kind of changed my tune on tipping a little bit. So what I typically do is, I don't really play. I play the don't on almost every other shooter, and I don't think doers love being on the don't pass. For one, so I don't typically bet for them when it's not me shooting. But because I do play now, I'm playing the jackalope more often when I go now. So I have been pre-tipping like a little bit. If I know I'm going to do a strategy that's a little bit of a pain in the ass, I'm like, hey, buy in for my whatever, and I'll just drop them $10. Hey, a little bit of action for you here up front. This might be a little bit of work, and we joke about that. And when I play it, they go, "Oh, I see what you meant." When I'm playing, I bet very light for them, like very light. Like I'll do like $5 inside or $4 inside or something like that. And I always tip at the end based on service. And that's just how I do it. I give a little pre-funk and a little bit of action at the end if service was good. And during the game, I only tip them when I'm shooting because it's the only time that I'm on the right side. And I even then I go light because it drives me nuts when I tip them and I blow it, and they get nothing out of it. They had fun for a minute, but they can't spend fun. So that's what I've been doing. I make sure that they're dropping money. That's my thing, because as a food service worker myself for many years, you don't want to live. You don't want to randomly getting big money doesn't help them. You know what I'm saying? So that's my new thing. I head and on the S end.
We lost Leon. I think maybe he's trying to get back in. Okay, let's go over to Ed. Ed, you play quite frequently, but before you answer the question, Ed, I actually have to put something up here on the screen. You lost me?
I lost your audio there, Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't hear you, Jeff.
Really? Oh, let's see what's happened here. You guys can't hear me for real?
I can hear you.
Something happened to Jeff's audio, I think.
Maybe Zoom can't hear you, Jeff. Whatever that means.
Yeah, it's
Dialing, can you hear him? Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, guys.
There he is.
Big finger, small
go.
keyboard. Big finger, small keyboard. I hit the mute. Ed, before you actually answer the question about tipping, somebody has I think I queued it. Sideshow Gamble wanted to know the answer to this question first. Why didn't you tell him you were coming to Blackhawk? You hurt his feelings. Now, I know the answer because you had a private invite, but go ahead and talk about Blackhawk, talk about Chris's question, and then talk about tipping. Tell us about your trip briefly here, too, if you want to, Ed, because I know you did an excellent video on it.
All right. So first of all, why didn't I tell him that I was going? I didn't tell anyone because I was invited. I was invited to play on a private table at Ameristar, and that was handled through a casino host, an independent casino host. So, for me, it was a trip. I had a couple of friends that went who were also invited. So that's why there's no announcements. I ran into Rick from Let It Roll, got to meet him real quick just for a few minutes, that kind of thing. But other than that, unless they were invited, they didn't know. I didn't even know who all was going to be there till we got there. So Blackhawk's a great little town. As long as you can work out your logistics getting to and from there, from the airport, you're in good shape. Once you're there, they've got a little bus or a little tram that runs. Sometimes they've got 2 running, sometimes they've got 3. They're like everywhere else. They're low on employees. They're low on help. I've never met or been in a more friendly casino town than Blackhawk. It was extremely friendly. Once you bought in one time, you could go back the next day. The dealers knew your name. It was really, really pleasant. The dealers, the different thing about, and goes into the tipping a little bit, in Blackhawk, from everything I can understand, the dealers there actually on that table keep the tips themselves. They don't spread it out and split it between all of the other dealers in the casino. And so if you didn't tip them, they'd just take your money anyway. So, wow. John one time forgot to put them up on the ATS, and one of the dealers that we'd gotten to know real well She just reached over and says, "You're not getting all of that," and she just peeled about $300 off of his ATS because he forgot to put her up on it. That was okay. It was fun. The only place we got a little bit of heat, we handed the dealers $400 and said, "Here's a dealer hand in," and we got no more heat. In fact, they were trying to get us a room. They were trying to get us a room to stay for the weekend or beyond our normal trip. Maristar is a beautiful facility. Those crews there, they did a great job with us. My typical dealer betting is I do a pass line with a snow cap. Snow cap means if it's say it's a $15 table, I've got a $1 pass line, and I put $2 on top of it because I usually give them odds, and so I want to win. I want to win the odds. I guess I'm cheap, if you want to call me that. But if I can win the pass line, then I've got the next bet for them, and as well as I've got their odds in the rack. So, that's kind of how I do it. I always put them up on the ATS. We did a lot of field bets for the dealers during that trip as well. Sometimes they'd leave it up. Sometimes they'd just snag it all down. You got to tip the people that are giving you a pleasant experience. Even if you're winning or losing, if they're giving you a pleasant experience on the table, you need to tip them because those people are working hard. In fact, I saw one young lady. She was working 2 shifts at two different casinos.
Wow. Working
So,
hard.
Yep, she was killing it. Working real hard.
Right.
So I appreciated her.
And she was a good dealer, right?
Oh, she was a fantastic dealer. She's the one that took the $300 and some odd dollars off the ATS because we forgot to put her up on it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right. Dylan, since you spoke up, what about your tipping experience, cheapskate?
Well, I wouldn't call it a cheapskate because I usually place. I'm a place bet, and so I make sure that I put $1 for each place bet option that there is also. So they're getting a minimum of $4, if not $6, for the 4 and 10 as well. And so that's how I do it. And then when I press, I'm pressing theirs as well. So and when I'm regressing, I control the bet, or that's what I tell them. And then they've got to then they got to do whatever I tell them. And so I'll when I press, their tips go up, and when I regress, that stuff goes down, and they lock that up. And so, and then also, at the end, then I'll go ahead and tip them as well. Just throw in, if my session, probably about 10% of whatever my session buy-in was. So, if it's, usually about 10% is standard on the outgo.
Okay, well, we'll move on to some other comments here. I'm going to put this up here from my buddy Clay, who I played with the last 2 days. He's true. A lot of casinos have moved away from the player-controlled bets here on the East Coast, and he's one that would always player control it. He would like to have control of it. Me, I just put it out there. If it wins, it wins. Some dealers leave it till they realize that it wasn't player controlled, but other ones, I'm just adding that into the mix there. So let's go to Chris Dice Dejan. You play in 2 highly populated, busy casino areas, the Philly area and Atlantic City all the time. How do you tackle the tipping?
So, like you and John and stuff, I was working in service-based industry previously, so I understand the whole tipping, non-tipping thing and how it affects their paychecks and all that kind of stuff. So I consider myself a little bit more generous probably than others. I bet for the dealers on myself when I'm the shooter. Otherwise, there's more often than not, I'm on the dark side. So I don't bet for them then, but I do bet for them when I'm the shooter. I have a pass line bet for them. They're on the hard ways with me. They're on the inside with me. And then, whatever they make off that, good for them. And then I always toss some money at the end as well. So they're getting tipped while I'm shooting. Hopefully I have a good roll. And then at the end, the end one is usually based on service. I don't ever leave not tipping, but if the service was really, really good, I'll throw them more. And if it wasn't great, I'll, round off whatever the bankroll was, or, I'll throw them whatever I think they deserve for it. But I'm a big fan and proponent of tipping the dealers, because, they are working for us.
There's a great point brought up in chat, which I think we should probably talk about with this, because I think you're right. The post tip at the end of the day, like if you cash out, 1,023 and you drop $23 to them, that's great. That's kind of an assertion of how their service was, right? Which is your way of saying either, screw you or thanks a lot at the end of your session. But during that session, somebody said in chat, if one guy pisses you off and like I do, I'll pull my dealer bets down if somebody pisses me off. It's just that one guy or that one gal that's pissing you off, and you basically hurt the rest of the crew because of one guy. And maybe like a crew coming behind them that's splitting tips with them, because if they pool their tips, you're kind of hurting other people. There's a peer pressure piece to that. I think Duracell said this, but I like the idea of what Ed was saying. These places where, and if you can find out about it, if they don't pool tips, that would change my whole vision of it. If I knew they didn't pool tips, because that's really, me and you kind of a thing, getting the right tip and the right service put into place. But I don't know. I feel like my pre-tip thing helps get better service out of the gate, and then we see if they keep it up. But what do y'all think about the idea?
We had a box man come over to us before we were waiting on them to open the table, and he came up to us and he thanked us for taking care of his crew before they even got the table open.
That's awesome.
He knew who we were. He knew who we'd been in there before, and just to thank us. Another good idea on a tip, simple tip, is a hand in during the hand. Let's say you've got a $90 6 or 8 and you win them 105. Put the 100 in your rack, throw them the 5. That's not a bad deal. Something to do while you're doing it, or give dealer option. You want to put it in your rack, or you want to put it on that number I just hit, whatever.
No, I agree. Anybody else? Leon, are you live again, or are you just out there listening? I see you're muted at the second, so unmute, come live, Leon, and let's go to Craig. Craig, being a newer craps player, and I won't mention the King of the Mountain currently. How do you tip?
I always start off with if I do a pass line or don't pass, I'll put a dollar or two for them side by side, and then as the game goes, if I go to a light side strategy, let's say I do 66 inside, and I'm pressing it up and up and up, and then I always seem to go back down after a few hits. I'll tell them up front, and I'll say, you know what, I'm gonna just let you know I'm gonna tip you every time you regress my bets down to 66. And it makes it fun. We had an engagement during the whole thing. The last time I was at the Mirage, I got to talking to the one dealer that was on my side of the table about tattoos, and it just had a great rapport going back and forth. And I'm throwing them, ones and but towards the end of it, I had doubled my bankroll, so I was tossing $5 chips, and then I started tossing chips to the shooter too. So, and then when I color up at the end, typically, if it was good service, I'll do a minimum tip of 50 if I did a pretty good color up. And then if not, if it was just so, I'll do what Chris said, and I'll just if let's say I won 1,000 on a $500 bankroll and it was 1,023 or something, I'll just toss the 23 and say thanks and go my way.
Right. Well, I think there was a comment made, and Vince Armeni's not here because we have two Vinces. We have Colonel Potter, who's a Vince, and we have Vince, who's Vince Armeni from his channel. We were talking the other day after I did a live rollout and after Big AZ did a live rollout, because guys, when they play and they're on the live rollout, they tip the dealers. Really, it's your chips, but you tip the dealer. But Vince says that the people you should be tipping, and somebody just put it in there, I think I just put it up there, is the shooter, not the dealers, because the dealers make a lot of money. I'm service oriented. I am going to tip the dealer, but I have tipped the shooter before because the shooter did well recently here. Within this past 6 weeks, I gave a shooter $50 who got me not only out of a hole, but up some. And then I was tipped as a shooter back in the fall of last year at the Atlantis. So we'll go on with the tip. And Leon, how do you tip? And don't say with money, or don't bet on the races, or whatever those one-liners are. Don't say them.
Well, I start off a little bit, and then, like I said, if it's a good dealer, definitely throw them some chips here and there, and especially if you do well at the end, color up well, and definitely throw them something. I have a good tipping story, especially with regard to dealers, but I will save that for story time with the DJ. It's a pretty good, fairly lengthy story. So, but yeah, definitely, if they're working for you, make sure that you compensate them accordingly.
All right. I think we've tipped this question to death. That was a little pun there. But I want to put up something here that I want to kind of segue into the next question, and that is this one here. And I want to say thanks to my good friend Chris out in Colorado. He said, I'm not going to read the effing part, but he says how much this community has grown, and hats off to Jeff and Dylan and for Craps Chat. Guys, Dylan and I are just here. We're the facilitators. The show's all about you. I'm hoping John's shaking his head because I don't have him on my main monitor here. We built this show for everybody that's watching. I can't see how many's watching at the moment because I'm doing so much here, but we built it for you, Chris. Thank you for the kudos to Dylan and I. But everybody that's on this panel, each one of you could be on this panel too. You know, I have room for 1,000 people if we had to have. I'm kidding. There's room for 1,000, but we would like to see more people. We'd like to see some viewers join the show. So, Chris, thank you for that. The Craps Chat is all about the community. Dylan and I provide the show. John has provided the gracious casino gaming TV side of it with a lot of other great channels, Live Fantasy Craps, Coffee and Craps. John, I heard a rumor somewhere at the rumor mill there's maybe a new show coming. We hope the dealer show comes back. But this Craps community has grown. So let's take it into that question. I'm going to turn that into a question. I've said what I have said there to the panel. What do you think from a Craps community? And I'm going to start with the newer guys first. So I'm going to go right back to Leon. You're new in our community here if you want to come on. And then I'm going to take it to Craig. And then I'm going to let Ed and Chris have a real quick comment. What do you think about this Craps community?
Oh, it's great. It's kind of amazing how many people there are in it and the involvement everybody has. It's I think I've said before when I was on before, it's hard to keep up with all the content that's out there. Some folks are putting out multiple videos a day, and there's not enough time in the day. And add to that, trying to get my own channel going seems like along with everybody else. So there's really not enough time in the day. But here and there, the algorithm will push you what you want to see. Discord helps out a lot, so you don't miss anything. And sometimes I'll start videos just so it's in my history that I can go back and look later to see, okay, yeah, I wanted to watch that one. Let me finish that one, and so on. But it's great. I like how everybody works together. It's a nice, tight-knit community. And then the meetups and everything in different places are a nice addition too. So I look forward to being able to come out for those. And you messed it up earlier now.
You're fine. Hey, look.
Craps for the cure. There we go. Craps for the cure.
We're all here from the king of the BSer. You have so many things run through your mind, you lose it. You just keep on moving. That's the thing. You never apologize for messing up. You just keep on moving. So let's go up here to the king of the mountain, Craig. You're fairly new too. I want to get everybody's comment here. I'm waiting for some comments to come in on the chat. Welcome, JR. Craig, you're new to the Craps community, and you're doing a phenomenal job with your channel.
I love it. I just did a video today because I had surpassed 300 a while ago, and I did a small video short then, but I wanted to jump on and just thank everybody. It's not just the people that are subscribed to me. I get support outside of that too. Discord has been, that's my new Facebook. I love Discord. I've been jumping on things that, I've even jumped into the fantasy things while people were playing just because I didn't know what it was. So I was just jumping into it. I jumped in today to, I saw Pouncer went live and I was like, well, what's this? And so I jumped in. He's like, hello? I was like, hi. He's like, are you here to join? I was like, no, I just saw it was live. I just didn't know what it was. He was playing wing craps. But it's been so much fun. I've only been doing this and people are tired of hearing it. I started in February. So I haven't even been playing a year, just really 6 months. But there's been so much support, so much love, so much feedback. I'm in Discord a lot. You probably see the green light next to my name all the time. As you all know, Jeff, John, Chris, late night, a lot of us are still up on the East Coast for no damn reason, but craps.
Last night.
Now, normally, well, last night was, that was fun. I went on Big AZ's live, and then I went on your live. But in between, I was uploading a video that took forever because it was 43 minutes. But I started that new series, so I wanted to get that out there before. But what's funny is that the short I put out, or not the short, the 4-minute video I put out today, thanking subscribers, I was like, normally I get like a few likes within like the first couple of minutes, but I'm not getting anything. I looked down at. I had it marked as private. I was like, oh, crap. Then I put it on. This is the great thing. And I wanted to point this out to Leon and any other people who are starting a channel. As soon as I hit public, it then finally hit on Discord and published. And then things were starting to come in. And that's such a great avenue that works in your favor when you are a new channel trying to get subscribers, trying to get your content out there. I went on Brian's live earlier today, and people were complimenting the content and the movie strategies and all this stuff. It was so great because I also got to talk back and forth with them, and I'm sure Brian's like, hey, what are you guys talking about? But but it's such a great community. I couldn't ask for better. My wife said, oh, you finally have friends. I said, yeah,
thank you. Well, real quick, let me jump in here. Jim from Badger 87 said he had to go. I was going to cue your question up next, Jim. If you're here, stay. If you have to go, we understand families first. Ed, you have been in the craps community playing live. Well, we won't talk about how old you are, but you've been playing a long time. But your channel's been up for a long time too. You've surpassed 1,000 subscriber mark. You're there. I enjoy your live rollouts. The way that you attend to your channel. I know you play a lot on Live Fantasy Craps, and you interact a lot with. I'm going to call them. I'm not going to remark on a video I saw today, but some of the larger, well-known craps players, as well as the newer players. So you've been all around, Ed. What do you think of this community, especially the way it's grown over the past year?
It's been phenomenal, and I need a lesson on Discord because I don't know how to do it. I'd have to get with John and let him. You or John, somebody needs to teach me about Discord because I downloaded it one time and I was afraid it was a porn site.
Well, if you play your cards right, it can be. Let's just put it that way.
I don't want it to be necessarily, but the community out there that kind of started as Craps Nation, I guess. The people have been phenomenal to me. They subscribed to me early on, which gave me a lot of boosts. Dave Carlin gave me some big boosts. Those kind of things really, they kind of keep you motivated. My work is so much heavier load right now that it's really hard for me to put out a lot of videos like I used to. I used to put out at least 2 a week, and it's hard for me to get out 1 a week, even though I've got 3 or 4 recorded. I've still got to sit down get them ready to upload them, and I haven't done that. I shot a couple today that need to go up, but finding the time for me is the hard part. But the community's been fantastic, and I can remember when there were only 2 or 3 out there, and there was probably only 1 or 2 that I'd even watch. You know, because I've been up a little less than 2 years. I think January will be 2 years. So there were, you know, people like Brian and people that brought in those live content. They've stepped up the game as far as what's available out there. Live fantasy craps is fun, but you know, I want people to remember too that is fantasy craps. When they see us trying to press up to House Max or something like that, that's just because it's fantasy craps, right? Not to say we wouldn't do it, but you know, you've got to have the right string of numbers. But yeah, there's so much out there now. I can't even begin to keep up. I don't even, you know, when I go in and I see there's somebody else new, I'll subscribe to them. But it may be a week before I get to watch anything on their channel. Just trying to give them some subs. You know, everybody needs subs when they're first starting.
Nope, this is true. So Chris, you're fairly new. Your channel, I forgot exactly how many subscribers it is, but you've passed beyond the 555. Your good friend Greg, who's not with us tonight, but you've passed beyond that. I believe you're in the 600 or 700s, but you're new and growing, and great content, great delivery. I've played with you live craps with you and John and several of the others. It's just a wonderful community. What do you think?
I absolutely love this community and everyone in it. I've never found something, I guess, so like supportive from the very, very start, right? Some people see it like, oh, there's competition, you know, I want to get subs, I want this, I want that. But like Jeff, you, John, I mean, pretty much everybody just always willing to offer, you know, any words of wisdom, any advice. Those who watch the videos who may not have channels, you guys give the comments, right? You tell us what you like and what you don't like, but even if you don't like something, it still helps us, right? And like you guys are always providing great information, especially to me. So I appreciate all of you. And I love putting out the videos and putting together the content and stuff. I find it fun. I'm watching, you know, craps almost all day and night for that matter. I always have it on while I'm working. If my boss is watching this, you didn't hear that. But, you know, it's always on for me. And when I was on vacation for the 2 weeks, like I genuinely felt like something was missing. Like there was a void that like I wasn't getting my daily dose of, you know, watching 30 videos or whatever I was doing. Like it felt like I was missing something. So I'm really, really honored, honestly, to be a part of this community and to be able to be involved with all of you guys and stuff. So I really do appreciate it. And the community is just outstanding.
All right, Dylan, I'm going to go to you before I go to John, and I'm saving John for last for a reason. But, you know, Dylan, you've been around a long time. I think you take my age and Ed's age together, and you're older than both of us combined, but I think you probably played that many years as well. But, I mean,
right.
You brought this community together, Dylan, for this purpose. So in 60 seconds or less, give us your answer. I'm kidding about the 60 seconds.
Yeah, there's no way I could do that. But the community, you know, as the community has grown, you know, tremendously, and I know that there's been, you know, Ed touched on it, and I've got to expound on that base level, where you know, Craps Nation, the beginning of Craps Nation, is really, you know, a bunch of us. There was like 12 or 13 of us that, you know, that was part of the foundation of Craps Nation. And that we, you know, made a pact to make it all friendly, all open environment, all accepting. You know, we can have all different types of discussions, and as long as we kept it positive, we can agree to disagree in a friendly adult way, where there was no real negativity, and that was what was key. the key foundation of it, and that we were all inviting and open and welcoming everyone. And so, the Skype, took off, and is still doing well. And that was a foundation for us, and it has just grown from there. And each one of us has done their it goes off and does their own little niche little thing, but we're still all one big, huge, happy family. And we continue to spread that love and that same mindset, and that's what makes everything work. And that's why we're so open, and that's why I think this, the Craps community per se that is here and now will continue to grow us, because we have that openness, and we have that honesty, and we have that all welcoming format that will bring people in. So I think that's key to everything.
Okay. I'm going to queue up a question here because I read it wrong, and I saved this to go back with John before I ask. I'm actually going to ask John this question. So let me bring this question back up from Jim Cartwright, and since I'm so old, I got to bring it up on a screen that I can read it. With so many Craps channels and videos released daily, and only so many hours in a day, what factors do you use to determine which channels you watch? Content, personality, and quality. There have been some answers in the chat. That question is for you guys. That question is out there for you, not necessarily for us, because we all pick the content that we want. What I want to talk about is John is a great presenter, and the way that he uses his brain to come out with algorithms to word things right. John, you could sum it up from our standpoint, what we think of our viewers, our subscribers, and where this community has come. John, you're out a month more than I am. You're out a little less than what Ed was out. So the teacher, the floor is yours.
Well, let me say this. I came into this after Craps Nation was going. So I wasn't part of the beginnings of Craps. I came in, I kind of post-dated that. But before I started my channel, it was I think I started my channel in like March. And November of the year before is when I figured what YouTube Craps was all about. And it felt to me like there was a Craps Nation Skype chat that was like really hard to kind of follow. But it was that's where the live stuff happened, where all the friendships got made. But the videos were like recorded videos up, and only George was really going live for the most part. I read a thing when I did the same thing, right? Let me run some strategies, let me do some teaching videos. And I saw a thing on YouTube where somebody said, I challenge you to go live. It was a podcast guy. I challenge you to do a podcast every day for a year. And he's like, okay. And he took the challenge. I did the same thing. After the last year's Crapsathon, I said, let me try and go live every day for a year, like midweek. And so I started live and it's been November, it'll be a year actually. And I did it as a challenge to myself. A, could I come up with that much content? B, could I say enough things? C, could I learn stuff and kind of teach as we go? What I found was that this community kind of sprung from that. And what I mean by that is by going live every day, you end up with at first the same 8 people every day watching the show. Now we're at 50 people a day watching the show every single morning. This show sprung from that. A lot of folks, Jeff is doing it. A lot of folks are going live every single day, multiple times a day. And what you find is that the 50 people that come will become 75, will become 100 on these live shows, but it's the same people. And what I've seen is in the mornings, the same conversations are being had, like a continuation from last night's conversation. You guys all fall asleep, then come back to my show in the morning, and you keep your conversation going. I'm talking about something over here, and y'all are talking about completely different stuff, right? And it carries over to Jeff's show, and then on Big AZ's doing a live rollout with 9 people going, and all these bet changes, and y'all are talking about some other shit over here. Who knows what it is? That's community. When you chase each other around and have these kind of common conversations, and you feel like you're all friends and family between shows, live every day, that's where I think this thing has become. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know where else it does go from here, but that to me is fantastic to see that spring out. And all the friends we have here in chat tonight are people you just know each other from all of our live shows. That's really cool. To go back to Jim's question, how do you know what to watch? It's hard. There's so much out there. Personality is part of it. I think presentation is part of it, but it's like, what do I need today? Like sometimes I want somebody's opinion on something, and sometimes I want a new strategy. And sometimes I want to just have some white noise while I'm walking the dog. So where I am in my head is different every day. So I look for different content all the time based on what mood I'm in. So I like all of it. I like the difference. And some days, honestly, I'm like, I'm just not in the mood for another strategy. I can't listen to somebody roll the dice and sling chips around. But, you know, I do like sometimes the more opinion-based pieces. And when I'm walking the dog, that's what I need. I need something non-visual. So that's my answer to Jim. Hope that made sense.
I'm leaving this question up here because I had to go back and find it. It was in my queue. It's way down in the queue 47 minutes ago. This comes from Cajun Craps.
Oh,
is there a
great
hole in
question.
Craps content that isn't being filled by a current provider? Who knows? Everybody comes up with their own niche. You try to find your own niche. You know, I'll throw some examples at her. You got Midmo Yo. You know, you saw him this morning. You know, with his the two things he does on Sunday and Wednesday. Sorry, Midmo, I get them backwards every time. But I watched your video earlier today. I put a comment in there about the sports betting, and I even said that I have craps content providers that are into sports betting advice. We'll just put it that way. I mean, look at WagerMe, and you know, so I answered that question. But from a standpoint of like Chris has got story time. You know, I do my lives. You know, I do my Mac Unscripted. There's another show that's coming out when I get back from Vegas here in a week. I leave Friday for Vegas for 10 days. So there's just so much out there, and it amazes me when the new channels come out. Wow, why didn't I think of that? Or wow, that's a really great idea. And you just keep moving on. And then you got people, smaller channels, bigger channels that promote everybody, and that's what's great about this community. So to answer your question, Cajun, I'm sure there probably is. I want to go back to one other comment that was said here. Where was it about? We're going to come back to that question. We'll probably fly into that one. So, dialing from a standpoint of content, you have a channel. You had a channel. You bring out your skill and luck stuff. You're more known as a craps enthusiast, expert knowledge subject, and you know your way that your brain works. You know, I bounce things off you. I bounce things off Ed all the time, you know, in regards to what happened. I like Ed's stories. I actually rather listen to Ed tell stories than me ask him a question. But, you know, it's just the craps community so well. So, again, Dylan, 90 seconds or less. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, Dylan.
Well, to make it short and sweet, it's like a smorgasbord. It's just like that, and you can pick and choose whatever you want, however you want, and you know, and enjoy yourself because there's plenty out there. So the smorgasbord thing is a good analogy as far as I'm concerned. Short and sweet.
All right. I was actually going to go to Jim's question, and somehow I deleted it. I don't know if he's still here or not. Jim, if you're here, please put it in. The question was asked 36 minutes ago. But I'm going to segue this question in from OMC Craps, and that is about Crapsody. We hit on Crapsody last week, guys. I don't want to talk a lot about it, but there's 10 channels that are currently infusing Crapsody, and I think it's an excellent tool. It was a tool that was missing. If you ever played on Live Fantasy Craps on Sunday mornings with George from CY, he actually had somebody develop his own virtual table. Not as elaborate as Crapsody, but it's a content that has helped everybody. John uses it every morning on Coffee and Craps. Starts with a lower buy-in, build up. When you play on Big AZ or my channel, we switch it up. We let you rebuy, we don't let you rebuy. So some people like it, some people hate it. What I have found out, and why I'm going to adapt to this change, is that if I have 4 people playing live and I'm running Crapsody, you guys are waiting minutes for a roll. I mean, longer than a 16-foot table with 16 or 17, 18 people around it while they're making bets. It takes too long. So I'm going to split mine up with people playing on the table and people in my Crapsody stuff, so that you'll see that coming forward. But I think Crapsody was needed for our community because it gives you the opportunity to actually roll along. And if you just take Crapsody in its single mode and set it up for you're watching a video back, you don't have to bring your table out. It's right there. It's right there in front of you, and you can play along pretty fast. So with that said, I'm going to go to Midmo's question next, and then we're going to wrap this whole Crapsody thing up because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. Question: in doing a live show to bring the Crapsody, bring in Crapsody, hurting the channel because of the algorithms. Midmo, YouTube, and John probably knows a little more about this than I do. YouTube just made some major changes in things that really don't affect our channel and how we operate, it affects their bottom line and what they're trying to do to make money, so they can continue to go against TikTok and Facebook and Twitch and all these other forums that are out there. So we've all seen the advent of the shorts. All of a sudden, every short was being shown. Now it's not being shown. So I don't think it's messing with my algorithm, because when my lives, they stay up for 30 days. After that, I put them unlisted. They're not even in my algorithm. They don't even look at what it performed in the first hour. How did it do the first day? What did it do the first week, month, and so on? All those things come into your algorithm that help suggest your channel to the next person. So with Crapsody, I'm going to continue to do it because I have it down, the system I'm doing. I actually have it running through my broadcast software instead of on a browser screen capture and bringing it in. So it's a little easier and reliable for me. But I think Crapsody's gone out of its way to take the support. Chuck, he's the only one I've ever talked to over there. He's like a one-man support team. He's very good at getting back. He's taken all of our suggestions and he's made changes, and there's some more changes even coming that everybody from Brian from Hawaii Craps Shooters made a suggestion on one of his lives. I put it in my email, sent it off to him. They're going to work on that. And yes, Brian, that's the all hard way button instead of have to do it all at one time. But John had an excellent idea. We need a back-end host admin side. We need something on the back end to make it easier for us to operate. They kind of fix the post betting, but I think we're going to see more on that. So with that said, real quick, guys, the panel, what do you think of Crapsody infusion into our community? And I'll give each one of you about 30 seconds. John, you want to go first?
It's okay. I mean, it's very slow. I mean, for my show, it's okay, but it's slow, and I want to make my point. I want to roll the dice. I want to talk about the rhythm of the game. There's no rhythm to it. For Coffee and Craps, it makes almost no sense. I think for a show that's dedicated to it, it makes plenty of sense. But I'll be honest with you, I don't love watching it. Like, sometimes it's okay to get in there and chat, but you know, if we're on the topic of what are you choosing to watch, I'm less likely to choose one of those live rollouts with Crapsody than I am to choose something that's more content related. Not just personal opinion.
No, and everybody has their opinion. I mean, it's like I'm going to put it up. I think I'm putting something up from Duracell talks about. I think AZ is on to something. You know, face, pace, and play, and that's what I'm doing. When I'm doing mine, I'm getting the rolls out there, limiting the voices, comments between it, and we roll. And then I do me shooting 3 random rollers, and if there's people still there in the live Crapsody show, I'll continue to roll until they say they don't want to play anymore, or an hour or so is where I'm limiting my shows with. So anybody else, Crapsody, anybody on the panel?
I'll just take a little stab. I'm 50-50 on Crapsody. I mean, I enjoy, that's kind of where I started before I started a channel, was I had another Craps, I think Craps 3D app downloaded where I was practicing strategies on. So in that respect, going to Crapsody and actually doing it with live rolls is great. But I like the live content, like Big AZ's channel. You know, he gets excited on his rolls. But sometimes he doesn't get excited because he has to input it into Crapsody. And then when he comes over and reads what it is, even though we've seen it 10 seconds earlier, it doesn't make it as fun. But also the Crapsody screen sometimes covers bets that we have on the live shows. You know, but other than that, I mean, for the people that play it, they love it. What's great is that they can have their chats and still be in the chat, which is pretty cool. So it doesn't really stop the chat from going. But I do think it stops a little bit of the live shows that have live players as well as people playing Crapsody. You know, like on John's Coffee and Craps, we don't mind because he's going about his content and we're just going in the chat, but he doesn't have live players on for Crapsody, Coffee and Craps. So.
Right. I think Arnell made a good point there. Some creators aren't worried about the algorithms. They use Crapsody because it works within their program. Works for Arnell
totally.
over at Live Fantasy Craps. So any other questions about Crapsody before we move on to a more stable Craps question to be able to talk about?
That's an interesting point that he makes, though.
One thing real quick, Jeff.
Go ahead, Chris. And then John, and then Skill.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I like playing Crapsy, like with your rollouts and other things to test maybe something new that I'm working on or test like a strategy. I mean, I personally don't work it into any of my like videos and stuff, maybe down the line, but I like it to test something against actual rolls because I will test a strategy in Crapsy and it's generated rolls. It is what it is, but I like testing stuff against like, your guys' live rolls. Just so I can actually get like a real sense because I can roll something out on my table. I can roll it out with Crapsy with the fake rolls and stuff. But it's nice to have somebody else rolling for me in a sense, and then I can play the strategy and see how it actually works on like your rolls. Because on my table, right, I can shoot, I can throw random, whatever it is, but it's not the same as when I'm at the casino. So I like to have different people shooting to see how the strategy works on different people. That's just my 2 cents on Crapsy.
All right, John, you were
there's a different vibe. Yeah, there's a different vibe to that, Chris. So it's like if you want to play Crapsy live with somebody, it's cool because it's like you're at a table, you're kind of anticipating the next roll, the outcome, and you're working your strategy through it. Versus like, for example, on Coffee and Craps, where I have the 1,500 rolls that I've logged, I can give you the 1,500 rolls. You can plug them into a computer and test how your strategy would have done against that whole series of rolls. So if your goal is to play and have fun and kind of see it in the rhythm, or if your goal is to gather data and play against an enormous big set of rolls, two different things, right? I think that's an important thing. And Arnell points it out too. Not everybody gives a shit about the algorithm. Like we're not all trying to build our channels up to be Jeremy or like have like an actual channel. Like I built Casino Gaming TV to not care about the algorithm. And you can tell this channel's popular. We have a lot of people that love our channel, Casino Gaming, this show and my show and Live Fantasy Craps and the Friday Night Fights. But we're struggling to get 600 subscribers, right? Because the algorithm, you can tell the algorithm hates live TV. It hates it. So if you're going to try to build your channel, Crapsy live rollouts are not the way to do it. This channel is evidence of how hard it is. It's been a year and 2 months, 14 months of Casino Gaming TV. We're still 600 subs because of live content crushes YouTube's algorithm. They hate it. So just food for thought. If you care about building a channel, going live hurts. Crapsy hurts more. If you don't care about it, this channel and like Arnell, what he's doing with the LFC, it doesn't matter. If that's not your goal, then it's fine. You do live rollouts, practice with each other, and do your thing. So it's really about what the goal of the channel is, how you make that call, and that's really for Mid-Moyo, for Chiro, because when I went live on ProCraps, it destroyed my channel, and I was really trying to get somewhere with it, and I lost months of work. When I went live, when I went with Coffee and Craps in that channel, it killed me. So lesson learned, I paid the price for y'all. So you're benefiting now from hearing me say this. It's like Daddy Craps or whatever.
Daddy Craps. That's your new name, Daddy Craps.
like back in my day, we walked up the hill both ways. Well, back in my day, we did live shit and it screwed up our channel, so there it is. Be careful with it. Just be really careful with it is what I'm saying. So, but I think Arnell's point is perfect. If you don't care, you don't care. If that's not your goal, then great. Then do your thing.
You could get, the models that Chris uses, to come out there and throw the numbers up that he uses on his thumbnails, then maybe it would work.
That's always sounds.
Yeah, before I go to Skill, here's a comment from Brian. He's still with us from Crap Shooters. He likes Crapsy mainly because he doesn't have to deal while he's running his live stream, which is true. And that's what I've started doing. I come out and I deal 3 times on the table, set chips up. The 3 rolls, I've started playing along with Crapsy. Like last night, Blackburn and I, Waylon, Ben, and I think it was Colonel Potter, we all were playing together on Crapsy. We had as many as 17, and it drops down to 8. And those 8 people still want to keep playing. They want to keep playing. So, guys, I got to call the show. I don't want to go an hour and a half, 2 hours just playing Crapsy. We could do that offline through Discord or just get together. Crapsy has its own feature in there where you can still get together and not have to stream it live. Some people find the streaming live boring. I had a couple off-color comments last night in my live stream, and I had to ban the guy right on the spot. Hit the button, boom, he's off my channel. I don't have to worry about him, making sarcastic comments. Probably was a kid. Yeah, Bozo. Yep, that was it last night. So, Skill, what do you think of Crapsy?
I like Crapsody. I really do. I think it's got its place, and it's found its niche, and that where people can play along. That's what it's all together. It's building that community, and that we all can follow and do our own little thing with whoever is doing the dice. So it's just like I see it as a major plus. One thing that needs to be put in the suggestion box is to have David make more calls. I know that there's short calls and there's medium calls and long calls that he can do, but then there's no variety of what he's saying. The hands high stuff gets old quick.
I turn mine off. I try to turn all the audio off. I do a pretty good imitation of David as well. I have to do it off screen. Yeah, I do too. Hands high, the whole thing. Yeah.
Right.
So
there should be
hands high.
Yeah, there should be a variety. There should be a variety of stuff.
Dice are out. Hands high.
Oh my god. Oh my god. But think about
I'll jump in here.
Oh my god.
I don't have Crapsody, and I'll tell you why. I have it, but I'm paid for it. And the reason is I'm a fairly new player. And for me, I decided that I really want to learn the payouts and dealing. And if I'm playing Crapsody or doing something electronic, something else is doing the math for me, and I'm not learning anything. It's great if you want to run a strategy. I played WinCraps for a bit, doing that, and some of the other apps before they came out with Crapsody. It's just kind of ironic they came out with Crapsody right while I was in that phase, but I just don't play it because I want to do it on a real table, because I want to go to the casino and actually play, and Crapsody doesn't give me that. Now, do I see myself doing it later on in the future when I get more advanced? Absolutely, yes. It's good to just jump on there and do your thing. But as a learner, which I think is a lot of what outside of this 50 people or so watching this right now, new people watching YouTube, they don't know anything about Crapsody. And if you really want to learn, you need to actually put hands on chips, put hands on dice, look down at a table and do your thing on an actual table.
No, that's true. So
I agree.
Let's move away from the Crapsody, but stay in a question. And this is Duracell. Everybody knows that Duracell on all the channels is somebody watching. Smash the like buttons. He has a question here, and I think it's more for you out in chat than it specifically is for us. Is who leaves comments after watching a video? Even thanks for the video comment. It helps the channel and the algorithm. I do it all the time. Most of us probably skip through some of the videos, especially if you're with mine. You get tired of listening to my voice. You just go to the end to see what the win total is. Or if you're like Clay, who puts it on 2.5 times fast and just listens to me sound like Mickey Mouse as it goes through and rollout, that's fine. But I think that helps. Everybody out there watching, we've got 46 of you watching, hit the like button. I mean, even if you don't watch the video to its entirety, it helps us. But a comment is really nice and warming. And all of us here, we really get some really heartfelt comments that mean the world to us. If you have our phone numbers and you call us or you text us, that's great. But the emails, I put a couple up last week of emails that I got from a guy that I said, hey, come out Sunday night and watch Craps Chat. Whether he's here or not, I don't know, because I don't know what his username is, but he sent me an email and thanked me for helping him with the Crapsody stuff. So that really does work, guys, if you add that in there. So that's enough on that question there. Let's go ahead up here to a question about Arnell. Let's talk craps here, guys. Next question. Here we go. Most people say the field is a bad bet. What do you think, guys? You know my answer. I love the field. Are we talking about the Moose subsidies? That's what we're talking about. For those over on the Blue Wrench crew members with Big AZ, you know what Moose subsidies are. But what say you in the panel? Anybody?
It depends. It depends on if it pays triple. If it pays triple, it's a great bet. If both of them pay double, it's not a great bet, and that's just the honest truth.
Okay. Anybody else? So Ed, let's go to you. What do you think about the field?
Me?
Yes, you.
You know, I'm kind of weird about it. If the point is 5, I'll place the 6-8 a field in a combat virtually every time. That's on my roll. If it depends on who's shooting, that kind of thing too. But I will not play the field for an entirety of a hand, but I will use the field to double up some bets on some place bets, that kind of thing. So, I don't like it for the long run. I will use it probably 3 or 4 rolls. That's about it. There's a lot of times, man, I shake my head and I go, why didn't I just go ahead and place those freaking numbers instead of waiting on field bets to hit? Because the 6 and 8s, 5s, they'll tear you up. But he makes a good point. If it's not a triple, and there's not many triples left out there, there's a few places that I see. It's a tough bet. I mean, I'd rather play crapless and John doesn't like that, but I'd rather play crapless than just sit there and play on the field. But I think there was a comment that came up: see a field, bet a field. If I see a horn or a field and I'm throwing and there's something in my toss that's causing that to happen, I'll go ahead and place a field. If I throw a 12, I'll probably go ahead and place a field bet. Not that I'm going to throw another 12, but I may throw a 2, or I may throw another craps number, or 9 or 10, hopefully. But I do start out a lot with a field bet and a come bet early on.
All right. Anybody else in the panel? What's your thoughts on the field? I'm not going to touch this one, but anybody else on the panel?
I do love it. I know the people, we've heard all the time, see a horn, bet a field. The way that I roll, and I haven't shown it yet in a video, but I do it at the casino, which is with my rolling, I will bet a field after I throw a 6. More than not, I tend to hit a field number after I throw a 6. I don't know why. Sometimes it happens after a 9, but I've had plenty of times where see a horn, bet a field, and then it's a 5 or an 8. So I just don't do it as often. But I'll do it for the content. You'll see it in some of the videos. But there'll be some times where I don't play the field at all. So, but it's such a fun thing if it does hit. But when you're playing the field, aren't you really expecting a aces or a 12 to hit, not anything else, because everything else pays 1-to-1?
Well, I said I wasn't going to comment, but I very seldom ever place the 4 and the 10. I use that as a feeder to get my 4 and 10 at half price. That's just me, and it's a whim. Clay saw me do it several times today. We were playing at a $10 table, fortunately for us today, and I put $10 out there, and I did his field parlay. He has a parlay that he does, and you can make $65 and 4 hits back to back, or $60 back to back. I just use it as a feeder. That's just me. I said I wasn't going to comment. Who else wants to take the field question?
I'd say if it's part of the strategy you're playing, definitely, but otherwise, no.
Okay. All right. Do we need to move on to the next question?
Let me touch on one thing real quick. The field, that the insides besides the 9, just kill you. You're fighting your place bets are fighting the field, and so the only way to go around that is to do a horn bet or go through the DC. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that it's good when the field hits. It's either going to pay single, double, or triple, but you've got to really think. Is it a really wise bet with you put a field in the you make a bet on the field that place 5, place 6, and place 8 is going to eat. They're going to fight each other. That's what they're designed to do. So you've got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I only ever do the field when I'm coming out. So if I'm on the don't pass, I'll bet the field. On the come out, I get the 11, a little bit of save on the 11. I get, I like when it's a free bet on the 4, 9, or 10. If they get to be the point, that's great. Other than that, it's I won't use the word sucker bet, but it doesn't serve any other purpose unless you're using it as part of a hedge or something else like that. That's just how I view it. And in fact, I'll ask you this, because I wrote an app where I track my rolls and I look at all the charts and everything else. That chart literally has one piece of data that says percentage of field rolls. Does anybody look in Bone Tracker or any of the tracking software how many field hits you're making during your roll after you set a point? Nobody gives a shit about that. And the fact that it's not even a metric that any tracking software looks at tells you what you need to know about the field. It's so streaky. It's a wing and a prayer. And I joke about this when y'all are playing these like, you're all playing the Friday night fights or whatever tournament you're playing in. I'm like, my God, people are betting. Do you like bet this way in real life? Like, would you put $500 on the field for one roll? Like, hell no. Nobody would ever do that in real life, right? So it's like, yeah, it's funny money in these strategies. It's fun to do that, but there's no way you do that with your actual paycheck. And for that reason alone, I say no. I'm an anti-field person unless it's part of a tactic for a thing. My personal
see a lot
opinion.
of beginners doing it.
Yeah,
a lot of beginners.
I've caught a streak. We've all caught that 4 or 5 field streak thing.
I saw a guy. I saw a guy in Colorado that, he was betting $100, $150 field bets, and the girl was rolling 12s, and it was playing triple. He put $100 down on the 2 out there on the field. He says, I really want the 2, and a buddy of mine said, well, you ought to put it over there on the horn if you really want a 2. And so they pushed it down to the 2, and she rolled a 2, and he had $100 on it. But you just don't ever know. But it's a big spot on a layout for a reason. I've always heard that, and that's the reason. I mean, it's the house edge or the house advantage is there. So, I only play it for 2 or 3 times. And what John's talking about doing is down there where we are. We call that a Mississippi crap check. When you're going to shoot out, when you're shooting a pass line bet, and then
that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
You put equal odds on, you put it on the field. We just call that a Mississippi crap check.
All right, we're going to move on to the next one. I got to put this one up here because it's a running joke between Clay and I. 500 in the field, Jeff. Yeah, I got it, Clay. I got it. Let's go ahead and take another question. I can't believe that we're already an hour and a half into the show. I'm backing up. I got a couple questions I have queued here that I want to come back to towards the end of the show. We've done the Crapsody question. I thought I removed that already. Maybe there was 2 of them. We did the Midmo Yo question. Sorry, guys. I thought I had this next one lined up. We're going to switch. We're going to switch from Craps to talk about playing in person together. So here's a question from Demon Dog who wants to know, can you highlight upcoming public meetups as part of the show? This show here, we could. I think both John and I have tried to put something together separately, not collaboratively, but John is the coder. And he probably could answer this question better. We both have places for you to be able to do that. I know on John's website, he had planned it, and in your Discord, and my Discord, I have it. I don't have that many people in my Discord. I'm going to be honest with you. 60 people in the Discord, maybe not even 60. John has 200 people in his. So, John, go ahead and you start out with this question, and we'll see what everybody else feels about meetups.
It's easy. Some things can't be automated. There's no way to automate meetups. So what I have to do is literally go to all the Discords and look and see who's meeting up. And then the Color Up Club is great at that. Jeremy's got a channel for that. What I need to do is go find that and actually browse through Craps Nation's chat more closely and see when meetups are happening, and then put them on the morning show every day as part of my, the Come Out Roll segment. So you all know when meetups are, and just kind of have like a daily reminder of who's going to be where. And if I can pull that stuff from Color Up, from Skype, and even from Reddit, maybe, I don't know, and just maybe like make a list every day. Just it's labor. It's manual labor for me to do it, but I don't know how else we could do it, Jeff, besides just looking around and y'all can email me and say, hey, we're going to be meeting up at WinStar on Thursday. Can you put it on your show? Hell yeah, it goes on the show, but I forget to look, frankly, because I get kind of busy.
I don't want to promote another show that I'm doing because I'm retired now. You guys know I have nothing other to do than cut grass and play craps. But I have a craps news and views show coming up. It's going to be a 20-minute show, 4 days a week, give or take, recorded live depending. And I was going to try to highlight some meetups. That's the reason why that was in my Discord. But John's the coder, and it's really difficult. You got other forums beside Discord. There's a lot of Facebook groups, and you got Heavy's Power Access forum that has a lot of talk about meetups. So there's plenty of places, but we need to, I guess, try to centralize it. And I had given it some thought, John, as far as doing a regional, but some regions are so humongous that California would be a region by itself because the state's so big. Well, but you get what I'm saying. As far as meetups, I think all of us in the panel here today, as well as you there, we'd love to come out and play. We played last April with 6 or 7 YouTube content providers, and we had a blast. We made some money, some made a little bit of money, but I think the camaraderie from that meetup, we all weren't specifically worried about winning money, with the exception of Clay and Ted. We all were having a blast. So meetups are fine, but I go to play craps to make money. Entertainment value is secondary. So, anybody else about meetups? Wake up, Chris.
I'm awake.
All right, because we can move on to the next question. Let me see if anybody put any comments in there. I may have missed it. A couple of them here from the comments because I had my view all up there. View all. Here we go. All right, nobody else wants to take it. We'll move on to the next one. Oh, this is a pretty good comment. I just happened to pop over to this side from Victor, and Victor says, well, you need to organize tournaments, get sponsors, etc. Somebody did mention a while ago, they were talking about Crapsody and commercials and commercializing things in YouTube. Guys, whenever you have a promotion, somebody's paying you to do something on YouTube, we have to click a button that could demonetize the channel and or penalize our channel for having a sponsor on it. So a very touchy subject there. But, to organize tournaments, regional-wise or otherwise, I saw somebody put, it was in one of the channels today, could have been on the Craps Nation Skype group, that the same week that you're in, might have been October, I believe it might be the weekend that you're in Vegas for the fundraiser job, that downtown they're having some type of craps tournament at one of the downtown streets. Yeah, it
Do you know what the dates of that are?
No, I'm gonna have to go back and look. It was the 18th, and I don't know if that was October or that was November. It seems to me it was the 18th. But that's a great question there.
God, I wish I was made of money and I could travel around and do all this stuff every day. Wouldn't it be awesome?
One day, John. Right? One day.
I mean,
it wasn't for work, right?
With that stupid ass job. No, I'm going to win Publishers Clearinghouse and take my $7K a week for life and just blow it at the casinos, going out to meet everybody. That's going to be that's my retirement plan. Don't tell my wife.
Well, I won't. Vince must have just woke up. Vince, we've covered some of this, but Vince makes a good point. Discord needs strategy submissions, events, meetups, trips reports, and Crapsody online event calendars. We're all kind of working to that. The problem is that there's so many Discords, and if you belong to them all, you can be getting multiple notifications. And but all those points are good, Vince, and you're absolutely right that's what Discord needs. But you got Discord, you got Facebook, you've got YouTube, you got TikTok, you got all the private forums that have been out for 20 years. There's so many that are out there. But good point, Vince.
Well, so on that point, Jeff. So one of the things we talked about early on with CGTV was to be that. Like, my goofy morning show is just, it's a morning show, but there could be like a news show that's part of CGTV that kind of does that daily announcement and here's what's happening in the world and kind of you know what I mean? If there was ways to kind of get and somebody wants to run it, I'll give you the keys to run the damn thing. I don't want to run it, but if somebody wants to do that, that'd be great. That's the whole purpose of this channel, is to have a show like what Vince is talking about, where that could actually be the focus point of it. Like it's news and no actual content. It's interesting.
Right. Victor also follows up with something, and you guys we have to go back probably about 4 months to talk about this. But Jeremy from Color Up was on, and I don't know where it stands, but he was on twice, and he made mention to a Craps TV show in the Reno area that he was working on a production. I don't know where that stands, but if they made a Craps TV show, guys. where would you be 24/7? You know, you can take YouTube with you. The more streaming services that offer on-the-go streaming as well, but yeah, I like the idea of a Craps TV show. You know, TV show, not YouTube show, but TV show. But you
Oh
can
man.
go to other platforms beside YouTube and still watch
Yeah.
and catch some Craps stuff. All right. Let me go over to the queue. Let's go to the next question. I'm backing up. I think Jim Badger left us, so maybe we'll save that for the next Craps question. For the panel, let's go ahead and we're going to switch gears again here, guys. This is from Chris Sideshow. The panel: what is your drive in your content creation? What is it that keeps you driving forward and making videos? I'm going to answer it first. It's the response I get from my viewers and my subscribers, email, comments, phone calls. Even I've had mail that I've sent out chips. People have mailed me a letter back. That keeps me making the videos and moving forward. As far as the drive for the content creation, I'm going to watch John shake his head with this one, I think. Sometimes it's hard to stay fresh with content ideas. And I'll be riding down the car and I'll think of something. And I'll pick up my phone and say, "Okay, Google," or set me a reminder. Look, my phone just went off. Or set me a reminder to do whatever, and it'll remind me that. But that's my answer. Let's go ahead and let's start with some older people. Older channels. I'm sorry. Ed, what keeps you motivated and moving forward? I know it's more of a hobby for you, and you just like to practice.
Well, I do practice. I practice a lot, but it's an honor that someone takes 30 minutes out of their life to watch something you've done, especially if they watch all of it. And it's even a special honor if they'll take time to comment on it or ask you a question. You know, ultimately, we all want better shooters at the table. I think that's, you know, part of what we do, or part of what I do. I'm not a strategy guy. I've told you guys that a million times. I'm a shooting guy, and I bet what shot. So I'm different. I'm kind of the minority. I'm the minority in the community. But when somebody, you know, it is an honor that somebody takes time out of their day to watch something that you've done. I don't do a lot of live content on my own. I did some Friday night, and before I knew it, I was on there almost 2 hours just answering questions. But you know, that's it. I mean, it's helping someone. It's doing the coaching thing that I've done on people's shots. It's just trying to help somebody. You know, I mean, craps is a great game. It's the greatest game in the casino. You know, or we wouldn't be here, right? So, whether you believe in dice influence or not, we don't really care. That's just what I do. But if somebody takes time to watch it, I'm most appreciative that they do that, and especially when they comment, I really appreciate it.
All right. Anybody else want to take a stab at it? There's a couple of fresh channels here.
Sure.
I mean, I've answered it. Go ahead, Craig. I mean, go ahead.
Well, my creativity is what drives my content, but also I hinted at it to John in one of the chats on Coffee and Craps. I like recognition. I'm a manager, so one of the things I really love is when I'm coaching somebody and then I see the improvement happen, and that's what I liked when I finally got into Discord. It gave me a chance to really network a little bit. And I think, Texas Dicer just started his channel or started doing videos about a couple of weeks ago. He reached out to me, direct messaged me, and just started asking me questions. How'd you get started? And I gave him a little brief, probably too much detail for him to hit him all at once. But to then see him have a video come out and to see how well he did, and I complimented him, and I was like, went back and, keep the communication. Communication's key. But, part of my content is I have a love of movies. I grew up in front of a television, literally. And, you know, for years, I've just been bullshitting with my brothers because we all talk in quotes sometimes. It's really ridiculous. But to then, I have all this knowledge up here that I want to get out and to tie it to a great game like this has been a blast. It's not that it's easy. It's not easy to come up with a strategy to go with a movie. Um, but it hits my creative juices and keeps me going. And also content that is different. You know, we do so many strategies that are the same or they're a variation. And I'm gonna give props to Skill when he came out with the Dark Hedge Cross. It was so fun. It was a series of videos. You had to really be paying attention because the bets are ridiculous. But the fact that they were just bets that weren't what you normally would see at a table really made me interested. Like, can you continue to create strategies that aren't just variations of others? You know, we've seen Dice Dr. Dan had a great 440, and we've seen multiple variations, and people call it twists here, twists there. You know, but I'm not there yet to be able to, I think, other than the movie strategies, to create something that's totally different. Now, the movie theme strategies, the fact that I've had some people come back and say that they've actually played it at the casino and won is ridiculous because I'm purposefully matching bets to characters or scenes in the movies. And I'm like, how do you play that at a casino and win? It's for me, it's pure entertainment.
Put some disclaimers?
No, I don't put up disclaimers. And I had somebody say something in the chat. I don't know who it was a while ago at another Craps chat. Yeah, I don't care about that. If you watch my video and you lose a lot of money at the table, that's not on me.
On
that's
you.
on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's real quick wrap this question up. We'll go to Chris Dice Dejan and then to see if Leon's had any interaction with being a new channel out there. Great Craps. We'll see. Chris, you look like you're about ready to fall asleep. Maybe you need to have that big tall thing you had Friday night while you were off camera. Oh, he's got it. There it is.
Here, don't you worry. No, I have. I think Jeff, you made a really good point. Ed made a really good point too. With, people actually taking the time to watch the videos. So the whole Craps thing started for me more or less as an outlet. I needed something to kind of get my mind off, let's say, like work and other stuff. Some of you guys know what I do for work. Some of you don't. But my days can be stressful. There's decisions on the line that some people's lives are in the balance, right? So I needed something to get off of the constant, my brain is on, I'm working, I'm very technical. So I started playing around with Craps things to make myself a better player. And then I started recording it, and then I started putting videos out. And the love and appreciation that you guys show on the videos makes me keep doing it, right? I could come down to my basement and record something, or not record. I could just come and throw dice, which I do. I don't record everything, but I could just come and throw dice and just be on my own. And I'm in a happy place, right? But like the support that the community shows and that everybody has is unbelievable. That makes me actually want to turn the camera on, plan out a video and record it and then put it up. So that's what keeps me making the content. And it started for more or less like an outlet of sorts, because I have other things that I do as an outlet, but I needed something, that I can come downstairs in like 30 minutes from work and be like, all right, turn the work brain off and let's, do something that can keep me focused on work when I get back to it. And I think that also started because of like with COVID and stuff, right? Everyone's working from home. Our computers are next to us all day long. So my work was starting as soon as I woke up in the morning. And even if I'm watching football, like I have one in the background right now, right? My computer's still there. I'm still answering emails. And it's 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. What am I doing? Like, why am I doing that? Yes, my job is important, but why am I putting that in front of other things? So it started really as like, I need to step away from the computer and do something else. And it turned into I liked the game a lot before that, but then it's really made me appreciate the game more and appreciate everybody's time that they actually take to watch the videos, like Ed said. And then the fact that people do show love on the videos, the comments, the likes, the emails I get, the messages in Discord that I get, like, you guys make me keep coming back to make videos. So I appreciate all of you. And yeah, I'll continue to do it because I really do enjoy it. And with the creative side, like, the whole filming things and editing videos and taking pictures and all that kind of stuff, like, that's fun for me. And it, like Craig said, right, you get creative juices out, creative side out. So the fact that I can put a lot of things into one really helps me also to just keep going and keep putting out videos. And if somebody doesn't like something, that's fine. I'm fine with that. And we all have our opinions, right? We all like different things. So I may like something, you may not like it, but it's also something that we can almost like bond over. Like, oh, why don't you like it? Like, let's have a discussion on it, because that also pulls me away from something else, and I make like a friend of sorts, even though we started with the disagreement, right? Somebody told me the other day that they hate the Velveteen Rabbit. They absolutely hate it. That's fine, right? But I asked, why do you not like it? So they were telling me why they don't like it, and 30 emails later, and, we're chit-chatting about, how we did at the casino the other day. So it's been really, really good. And the drive is there. And I love making videos and go on vacation. I have 10 videos ready to go because I'm ready. I love it.
I just want to add on to what Chris said, is that making the videos is starting to make all the people who have new channels, it's starting to have us really appreciate how hard it is to deal. But the great thing is that, like with the live videos that you guys do for Friday Night Fights and some of the other things, Jeff, that you do on your lives, some of us new guys eventually want to get there to where we can also be a backup, because we know it's being driven by pretty much 3 of you right now. Maybe 4 of you, I don't know, but
totally agree.
If we can get our dealing up to a certain standard that we can start being a backup boxman or a backup dealer, I'd love it.
No, I think we're all looking forward to that. I'm like last Tuesday, had tap out Chris because of problems. Fortunately, I was in the chat, ran in here,
That was
turned
awesome.
stuff on in the studio. It was awesome.
That's great.
But I'm not available the next 2 weeks. Chris Dice Dejan's going away on vacation yet again for a couple of weeks, and that leaves John and Chris from Sideshow to do the Friday nights if they're available. So we need more people. I'd love to see more people. I signed up. If somebody can do something with that background noise, I signed up to actually play by accident, and if it comes up, then I'll play. If not, just kick me out, John, and let somebody else play. I just was playing around in there, but I think John would say this: we'd welcome more people to be able to fill in. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't do it this Friday because I'm in it.
I mean, like, we're not that good at this. Like, hopefully we all kind of suck at it, right? I mean, really, right? And it's just like to me, like the whole channel thing is like, let me fail in public, right? Which is good, and I think the dealing thing on these different tournament games speaks to that. It's okay to fail in public. Like, failing, to me, I teach computer programming, and computer programming is all about creating shitty code and fixing it. Like, failure is a part of your life, everybody's life, and I think having a channel is failing publicly. And the comments that we get that call us out for that are fire. It's awesome. And dealing these live things, Craig, it can seem daunting. And when I dealt the Big AZ battle, I was nervous as hell that night. Like, I'm dealing to freaking Big AZ. I dealt to Jeremy one time in Fantasy Craps. I was so nervous. I was sweating on my dice, right? But that's the best part of it. That just gives you like the calluses that you need to be better at this game. So jump in, try. Yeah, give it.
I'll jump in whenever you guys.
Go for it.
I got my 4K camera up, ready, and I tried my shot at shadow dealing the Friday Night Fights the other night, and you guys started off with some bets, and I was like, "What is that?" Like, nope, never mind.
That's
Not
why you
ready.
have a box man.
Not ready. Yeah. Definitely. That
That's
would
why
be
you have the box man.
box man. What the hell do I do now? You know. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's
Well,
we're all trying to get there. But it is fun to watch you guys just totally screw up sometimes too.
I
It
will
makes
say
it
this.
everybody's equal.
I will say this, whether you're using one camera or multiple cameras, people like to see the dice land. They want to see the actual dice land and what they are, whether you zoom in, whether you have like Chris on his channel when he rolls it out, he's got everything in front of you. Could be a 4-foot table, 6-foot table, could be a 14-foot table. As long as you can see the dice land, I think that's very important to the viewer to see how the dice land.
And that's why I try to get this angle on my table so you can see the whole table and everything. Everything's there, you know. So I realize it's backwards, and I got to figure out how to fix that. But you know, that's what I try to get. Everybody wants to see the actual roll. They don't want to see edits. They want to know they're watching a real thing. You know, and anybody can do editing with a little bit of practice, but people want to know that it's authentic. And I think there's a lot of value to that. So
yeah,
for sure.
No, and we welcome that. I'm going to tell you that me dealing has made myself a better craps player, understanding the math. Actually, it's made me pick up math mistakes that the dealer makes, and I leave the chips on the table, and I said, count that again, or that's not right, or something or other. Sometimes I'm wrong, but you know, if I'm wrong, so be it. I don't make any more money, but if I let it go, then I'm losing money, and that's not what I worry about. It real quick, Dylan, we need to move on. You wanted to have a comment about this?
Oh, well, just I love the game. I mean, that's the way I make. That's why I make content. If I'm going to make content, it's because of the love of the game. Just that short and sweet. But all these, you know, all these things that once you get into it, it just increases your skills. You know, you're increasing your skill. You're increasing your level, like you guys said. There's all different types of levels that you grow at. And it just makes you a better player, you know, in the long run. And then we can help other people, you know, and that's what it's all about. So it's you know, it's the love of the game. It's improving on yourself, and then you're helping others. So it's all, and then it all goes back full circle.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move on, and it's going to kind of segue into this too. The word of my show today is segue. Well, I'm going back to a question that Sully asked about 15 minutes ago, and he said, "What's wrong with the idea about a website? Looking at a website? I have a website. Some do, some don't. My website's automatically updated. I don't have to touch it. It just does it. It's the way that I programmed it. I don't have the coding experience that John has, but it's self-sustaining. I don't have to do that. But websites are a lot of work. Discord's a lot of work. Your videos are a lot of work. Your channel is a lot of work. So with that, I'm going to move into the next one I like that Victor puts up here. We need a producer. Victor, I need a producer for this show. John needs one for Coffee and Craps.
I agree. Totally. Absolutely.
We're doing the best that we can do with what we have to work with, and I really think that is working. I'm going to go back to something that Waylon put up here, and it's astronomical to think about this, guys, but we see analytics on the back of our channel. Waylon says, I get 100,000 views every 28 days and only 2,100 subscribers. That tells me that people are watching, not subscribing. You go to your analytics, you can see what the percentage is, and I think all of us are in that same boat, and Vince followed that up with a comment, too, about getting, come on, catch up with me, computer, 150 subscribers from an investors group. I recently did something unusual from a standpoint of reaching out to a group of people and doing some old snail mail stuff, and my subscribers, I've barely reached over the 1,500 subscriber mark and have gained a couple hundred here in the past 10 days, and that's good. So we got to do things to make it all work. And as we get through that, I'm going to come up here to this. What I'm leading to is this question here from Sully that says, can you talk about the show and what difference there is between videos that get likes and no likes and subscriptions versus just watching a video, and exactly how hitting the bell helps it? I'm going to take a stab at it. John knows more about this. Both John and I communicate with YouTube content consultants, and it's important. Every like, every minute you watch, every comment you make, subscribing means a lot to our channel. It helps us get our content out to people that may not be Craps fans. Maybe they're a gambler, but they're not subscribed, and then we bring them into our community. So that's very important. All those questions lead into that, and I'm going to let John talk now because once again, the coder daddy is whatever you said a little while ago.
Come on now.
He's the expert. All right, go ahead,
Too
John.
smart for all of us.
Yeah. So, well, YouTube is in the business of making money, right? And they make money by showing ads on the video. So you watch our videos, most likely you see an ad at the beginning, at the end, in the middle, somewhere. And so YouTube wants to show more ads, which means they're going to try and promote videos that they think people are going to watch. And so ultimately what happens is if you like our videos, if you hit the notification bell to see the notifications and like follow through with it. Like let's say I like Jeff's channel or Craig OBC's channel. I hit the bell, I see a notification, I click the notification, and I watch the video all the way to the end. So when Craig says goodbye, and then you see the little ad pop up at the end there. YouTube says, well, that was good. We showed it to somebody, they clicked on the thing, they saw the whole video, and it all worked out. That must mean it was a good video. And they'll show, what they'll do is they'll sample size it. They'll say, well, now we're going to give that video to 1,000 other people. 500 people who subscribe to people that Chris subscribes to, and 500 people who subscribe to random other gambling things, and we'll try it out. And then they start looking at who's clicking more, and then they do another 1,000 tests for them. That's how YouTube works. It's all a big, giant A/B test. And they're always pushing videos out to different things. So the more likes, the more views you get. If you watch it deeper into the video, that's why lives kind of suck, because a live video is an hour and a half long. This video here, when this is over with, it'll be a 3-hour video. And tomorrow, somebody comes in and watches this video, they're going to see 8 minutes of it and go, well, fuck this, I'm out of here. It's going to be a 3-hour video, right? And they're gone. YouTube goes, well, that video sucks. And they'll never show it to somebody else again. When they see like 80% of the people only watch 10 minutes of a 3-hour video, they stop showing it, and it goes into the scrap heap. And that's how YouTube really works behind the scenes. So all the things that you do help you out. As a subscriber, if you like the video, you'll see more of them. If you hit the notification bell, you'll see our stuff when it comes out. If you don't do those things, our videos get buried, and then the channels kind of suffer. What's happened with the CRAPS channels, I went from 1,000 subscribers to 3,000 inside of about 3 months. And the reason for that was because I put out shorter videos that people liked and shared and stopped the lives, and all of a sudden it goes haywire. And it's a content thing. So I hope that answers the question. YouTube algorithm is an interesting beast to track how it works, but it all comes down to if you follow through with who you do you watch the videos of the folks you subscribe to? Do you watch them? Do you follow notifications, and do you follow through to the end? And that's what YouTube cares about. So we always bug you about that stuff only because it just helps, right? And ultimately, there's really 2 milestones I think that YouTube folks care about, right? The 1,000 subscriber mark is a nice one because you can get monetized and make some cash. The 10,000 subscriber mark to me is the next one because that lets you take donations for charities without any fees being paid. Beyond that, subscribers are just high fives. It's just attaboys, and it just means you're getting your content out there. But really, to the algorithm, it's all about the likes, the comments, and the watching it all the way through. That's the best way to help a channel is to watch their stuff to the end.
So we're going to have to promote putting it on. We're going to have to promote putting it on 2.5 for these long channels, so we're all talking like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah,
so that watch it all.
Sometimes I will actually so what I do sometimes, and I'll be honest with you, I'll watch a video, I'll start somebody, and I'll give you a Waylon as a good example. Waylon's videos are great, right? But 5 minutes into a Waylon video, I know what the strategy is, right? He explains it, he shows it one time, and I go, okay, ladder up, ladder down, okay, cool, got it. And then I'll put the phone down, and I'll go make coffee, and I'll make my bagel, and I'll sit down, and I'll go pee or something, and the video's still playing. I'll get back to the thing, it's at the end, I like the video, and I say, Waylon, great job. Right, I got what I wanted out of the first 5 minutes, but I make sure that
how did it turn out?
Right, yeah, I care about the end of it, right? But I also let it play all the way through. So YouTube sees a viewer that's subscribed to Waylon watch 27 minutes of a 27 long video, 100% watch time, and that helps his channel out. And I do it for all you guys. That's how I do it. I don't need to watch the whole rollout. I can suss it out in a minute or so. Most of you probably do too, right?
That's a good point that you bring up, John, because I asked one of the consultants that I talked to on the YouTube standpoint, with people on a computer and other devices other than mobile devices, you can fast forward. And does a 27-minute at 1.5 time equal 27 minutes watch? No, it doesn't. So for those of you that are fast forwarding, listen, it does not count as 27 minutes watched. It counts by the amount of time that.
Let it play through. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to
let it roll. You got to let it roll to the end. There, it doesn't work for the algorithm.
But Leon, I'm telling you, when you get your videos out, go watch your average time on a video, then go watch the average time of all your videos.
But that's why I went with 5 minutes for my current little series. Is it's 5. Everybody can watch 5 minutes. You know, it's something. It's easy. I can get it out. I'm in the point right now where I can't do a lot of content. I'm in Craig's boat where I'm like, there's not enough. It's like writing another song. It's like coming up with another chord. For you musicians out there, there's not another chord to come up with, you know. I think there's a lyric about that. John, you probably know that, right? You're a music guy.
There's music theory, right? So music theory is interesting.
Right,
like, so Joe's asking a question in chat, which I think is important. Joe Craps Master Journey, give me shit now. Even me? No. So Joe's videos, what I do with Joe's videos, honestly, I have all of Joe's videos in my watch later pile. So when Craps Master Journey comes out, it goes right to watch later for me. And I have a whole set of Joe's videos in my watch later thing. When I walk my dog, I go watch later, and I watch all of Joe's, and I listen to Joe's videos as I'm walking the dog. Yep. I don't need to see the table, but I'm hearing his content while I'm walking, and I'm visualizing what he's saying. So I consume Joe's content different than I consume Waylon's content.
I think Jeff's the important thing is that it gets consumed, and it gets watches, and the algorithm picks it up, and it goes from there.
Yep.
Well.
No wonder my placements suck.
Well, I was getting ready to come to you, Ed. But the point I'm trying to make, Leon, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours, it is viewed at how many views you get within the first hour, the first day, the first week, month, and so forth. So it's very important. I do what John does. I watch I shouldn't say watch. I listen to probably 8 or 9 videos a day while I'm in the car or around the house, outside working in the yard with the Bluetooth on. I don't watch, I listen, but it's streaming. I have a paid version, so my screen doesn't have to be on. It's still streaming. If you have the paid version of YouTube Premium, you can turn your screen off, save your battery time, and just listen. And I do that an awful lot. So real quick, Ed, I'm going to shoot the question over to you, and I want to put this one up here because I kind of thought it was funny, and we all needed a good laugh with this one. You probably saw it, Ed. KK says, if you don't let Roll to Win talk, he's going to get hammered drinking that brown water. So
brown water,
I'm on my third glass, baby.
It's my first.
From a content provider, Ed, you're like me. You're not really worried about the subscribers. It's nice to get to the milestones. But from a standpoint of the analytics, it is important to everybody, regardless of whether you're a small channel or a humongous channel. I say that I don't do my channel to make money. I pay it back to you. I'm giving it back to you. I'm fortunate enough to be blessed throughout my life to be able to be in the position that I am. So I like my entire life's public safety. I've helped others, and I don't need the few. I don't want to give away how much my channel makes, but I give it back to my channel. But Ed, from your standpoint, you're an educational channel, and you like to help people understand the game, and also from a standpoint, we got a DI question in here or there. So I'm gonna give you the floor for a few minutes and talk about what we just combined all those questions together. Please don't ask me to put them up there because I've already taken them out of queue. Just give us a brief synopsis of your channel.
What kind of brown water am I drinking tonight? Weller. Sent to me by a subscriber. I love brown water, and people that send it to me, they always get praise. I listen to several channels when I'm driving, just like you do. It's a good way to not only pick up, but it's like John, for example. I used to watch John when I could, there's a big time difference. So I would listen to John while I was eating lunch, or I'd catch the last 30 minutes of John's every day when I was eating lunch. I don't have the time or the capability now because of some restrictions on my internet. when I'm in the office now, my internet is a company computer.
Right.
I can't get on it. There's no, I'd have to do it on the phone, and I'm usually busy anyway. So I don't know what the original question was. I'm probably am hammered, but I could tell a story.
That's not important. Another glass.
I could tell stories all night long. I mean,
Yeah.
what kind of story do you want? But
No, I've actually.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to let you finish.
No, I was like, ask me a question.
Uh,
Go ahead.
No, I don't have a question. The question was, from a content provider and handling all the technical aspects of it and producing and getting there and getting out the content. I think you're probably in the same boat I am. It doesn't matter to me where I go, how many subscribers I have, as long as the people that are watching the content are getting something out of it, communicating back positively. I'll even take criticism. I'll take constructive criticism, but I won't take a non-constructive criticism that's filled with a bunch of hate or cuss words.
Well, yeah, I don't like that either, but you're going to get
let
that from
pass
time.
on by.
You're going to get that from time to time, but I don't play craps for a living. It's not a hobby. Somebody asked me that the other day if craps was a hobby. No, it's more than a hobby. Way more than a hobby, but it can help your lifestyle if you play it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, playing it correctly is learning how to shoot. And there's so many channels out there that focus on different strategies and shooting out different strategies. I have those that I like to watch, and there's some out there I just can't go through them. They don't hold my attention. And that's true. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't watch me because I can't hold their attention. That's the hard part. One of the things I want to do down the road, maybe after the first of the year, you talked about somebody talking about trying to have meetups and groups and that kind of thing. I want to try to talk to one of my hosts down in Biloxi and see if they can't put together some kind of deal. It doesn't have to be a free deal, but it needs to be a good deal for people that subscribe, want to come down Biloxi, get away from the winter weather. It'll still be cool down there, but maybe we can do it sometime in the winter time. Just have drinks. People can go to whatever casinos they want to go to, play with whoever they want to play with. That'd be a great thing. I'd like to try to just be involved with something like that, just to get people together. I had somebody come up to me in Colorado saying that they watched my channel a lot, and I was like, I can't believe here I am in Black Hawk, Colorado, and somebody actually recognized me, number one, and number two, came up and took the time out to let me know that they watched the channel. It happens in Biloxi. It happens in other venues that I go to, but that was really a surprise for me when somebody recognized me and took the time out to introduce themselves and say hello and that they watched the channel.
So, Ed, in January, when Clay and I come down, do I get your autograph?
I'll autograph a shirt for you. I've been playing around. I've been working on some swag, if you will. I've got some whiskey glasses and some shot glasses. I gave away all my shot glasses with the logo on them in Colorado. Had some demos run and that kind of thing. So, who knows? We may have some more.
I got to get me a roll to win shot. A roll to win whiskey glass has got to be on the list. I have to have one of those. One of those.
We haven't made the whiskey glasses yet. We've started with the shot glasses. Dude. The shot glasses look great, so I'm going to go up to the whiskey glasses next.
Make sure they're about this size.
If you want a beta tester, I'm your man.
That's the size.
Let's let's move on, guys. Jim, I believe, came back and said that he was back from his family time, and I held this question for 2 hours now. I don't know if he's here or not. Kind of goes along with what we are talking about right at the moment, and that is, do you guys change the way you play when you meet up with other YouTubers or people you know? Absolutely not. And as some of these people on this panel can tell you, I don't even follow any chip rail management. I do things differently. I play the way that I play. I play the way that I talk. I evolve out of a loser to a winner through the hybrid, to a don't player, to a very good, what I consider a light side player, that I've changed my whole game over the past year from doing this right here. So with that said, each one of you, let's try to keep this this answer brief, and we'll start with skill.
Oh, I do the same. No, I am consistent on how I play, whether I've got other people that know what they're doing or not. They still have to prove to me, and I got to still chart the table, and there's a litany of stuff that I go through that and hoops that the other people have to jump through for me to really throw a lot of money on there. But if the trend of the tables and they can prove they can shoot, then yeah, that's a different ball game. But yeah, there's I just don't just because Joe Blow's there, that or Jeremy from Color Up or whatever is there, I'm not going crazy on that. No.
Okay. Let's go down to Chris.
I don't change how I play. I play the same way. I do change, I guess, how long I'm at the table. So that factors into it a little bit. If I go to my local and I'm playing and I hit like a win goal that I have set, I'm out of there. If I'm playing with people that I know or people who specifically say, like, I'm going to the casino at this time, do you want to play? I'll change how I play then, but I don't actually change how I play in like my normal thing. I know John talks about a lot with the short stacking and stuff. I'll do something like that, which I learned from him. But I don't change how I play necessarily, but my time on the table may change, but I do lock up the profit that I want, and I'll play with the rest. And hopefully I win some more. If not, then it is what it is. But I don't necessarily change how I play on like a daily basis when I'm going with people that I know, or content providers or subscribers or anything like that.
All right. Anybody else here in the panel? I know John has done that. I've answered already. Have an answer to this question?
I would say I would say I'll flip this around, and if I were in let's say Vegas or Biloxi with content providers that I know are pretty damn good shooters, know what they're doing, I think I would probably bet a little more aggressive.
And to that aspect, Leon, that's the reason why when I'm away from my home casino, I gamble early in the morning when nobody's around, because I don't want you to lose your money on me. No, so serious.
That's good
if I'm
answer.
going down
If
if I'm going to go down to play and I'm away from my home casino, I want to play less people. I want to shoot the dice more, and I don't want anybody to say, "Oh, there's somebody I know. He must know what he's doing." Because guys, you've seen on my lives the past. See, we're up to 18 days, 16 days. I've done a lot of big rolls, guys. You don't see the 4 times that amount I had short rolls. Yeah, I've had some really good rolls in the past days. But Ed, go ahead.
Well, it's the other way around. It's who changes their betting style when they see us. That's the real problem for me, and that's
what I'm talking about.
That's one of the reasons I don't talk about right now where I'm going on purpose. I had a guy in Vegas one time, came up to a table, saw me shooting. Now, I'd been on that table for several hours, and it was dreadfully slow, and I was starving, and I was waiting on the dice. I set a point. He went 640 across, or 640 inside, and I PSO'd. And the only reason he did that was because it was me.
You?
Yeah. And so I walked around there, and I told him, I said, you got to qualify every shooter, regardless of who they are. And if they've got a YouTube channel, don't bet on them.
Yep. Sometimes it ain't your day.
I
They're
had good
no
rolls during the
guarantees.
day, but that particular moment, and I colored up and walked away and went to lunch. I wanted to get off the table. I didn't want anybody else betting on me. I was starving, but you know, you've got people see you and they think that you're just going to roll phenomenally because you're famous or because they've seen you do it on TV or whatever you want to call it. But it's not true. Everybody can stink up a table, and I can stink up a table as quick as anybody.
Yep.
It's just a fact. That's just what happens.
Yep.
You
I
can
think
get on.
Waylon said it best the last time I think the last scrap chat he was on. Waylon said it best. I lose all the time, right? So it's the same thing, right? Everybody can lose all the time.
You're going to lose. The seven's going to show. It's just where's your money at? Is the money in your rack or is it on the table when it shows? So that's the main thing, and people need to understand when they see us, don't go crazy, And if they say anything to me, I say bet lightly, until you qualify how I'm shooting. I love to meet subscribers. I love it when they come up to me. I love when they walk down beside me and holler roll to win, all that kind of stuff. I love it, but they've got to be careful if they're going to get on the table. It's real money at that point. It's not, it's chips, but when you go to the cage, it turns into money. So that's the main thing.
Let's spend 60 more seconds on this, guys. I got 4 more questions, and we're already pushed past the 2.5. John, go ahead.
So I set the bar super low. So I don't have the same problem Ed has. Nobody bets on me. I can tell you that.
Is that because you're so short?
Right? No. Oh, come on, Ed. Jeff, seriously.
Maybe follow all your bets.
Oh my God. No. You know what?
Short, I'm big.
You are, yeah. You dwarf me a little bit. No, I don't have that problem, Ed. But I like to bullshit. Like when I go to the table and I meet subscribers or I meet other YouTubers, I play with a lot of you. I talk a lot, right? I like to have fun out there. So I bet totally different when I'm hanging out with people than when I'm there to go to work. I really do. I lighten my load. I'm just not wanting to think a whole lot until it gets serious, and then we can jump into it. But I spend a lot of time BSing. I mean, there's times, I know you don't like that, but there's times where I'm not that serious at the table. I'm just there to have a good time and chat and bullshit and, play my don't, sit back and talk for a while, come back and make another bet, and it's good until the game, the lights come on, I guess, so to speak. But yeah, nobody bets on John. I can tell you that. Nobody who's smart bets on me.
Well, let's move on to the next question. We're going to stay let me go and just bring this up because I'm having a hard time reading it. This is from Demon Dog from almost 40 minutes ago. When playing live at a casino, what is the percentage of randoms to dice setters? Does your betting strategy change? I'm going to answer it real quickly, and the answer is yes. All right, to the panel.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
Anybody else?
I missed the question.
All right, it's when playing live at a casino, what is the percentage of random throwers, dice throwers versus dice setters, dice influencers, somebody setting the dice? Does your betting strategy change? And for me, yes, it does. I look at what the person does. If I don't know the person, never seen it before, I watch how they pick the dice up. And I say this almost every show we have. The people that set it will pick them up in their hand, blow in their hand, shake their hand, and just chunk them down there, Greg style. I don't get that, but but yes, it does to me. Enough said. Anybody else want to take a stab at this question from Demon Dog?
I do. I mean, if I get at a table and there's 7 or 8 people, I do tend to not qualify them in what they're betting, but I always look at their rail first. Like, do they have less than 100 in chips, or do they have a pretty healthy amount that looks like they've been playing a while? Then I also will stand back at a table before approaching it, because typically if you approach it, the dealers and all expect you to start playing right immediately. So I'll stand back and I'll actually watch it go around once, and look and see what people are doing. I think Chris Dice DJ might have, or not Chris Dice DJ, I'm sorry. I think I saw on the Casino Quest they did a short on different types of dice throwers, and I've actually seen a bunch of people who toss it up against themselves to the wall. I don't know what they're looking for before they decide to actually throw them. But, I've also seen somebody who
Test shooter.
took a painstakingly, 2 whole minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot when you're at the table. 2 minutes setting the dice, but that person hit 6 points. So after he hit his third point, I didn't care how long he took because I was winning money.
Nope, I like that comment. I actually do. Anybody else before we move on? We've got a couple other good questions that are here. Anybody? There's a question out there for everybody out there. John asked the audience if you guys like shorts. That seems to be pretty popular in the YouTube consultant arena these days, talking about the change in algorithm. Just put your answers in the chat there. We'll move on to the next question. Dr. S, I don't know if you're still here. We may take that question into overtime because it gets people started. But I want Chris to answer the questions. But I got to put this up here first, Chris. I hope I have the right one here. I may not. Here you go. So take Vince's question at Dice DJ. You're a good-looking fella. Did you get rid of the rabbit, and will you start getting hot with the chicks? So I wanted to bring this in earlier when we were talking about content providers because Chris is probably one of the youngest ones that we have, and all those people his age. I shouldn't say that. Did I just say that? Sorry, guys. The younger crowd is straying away from YouTube. They're on TikTok, but where they're gaming at is over on Twitch. And Chris and I had a conversation about Twitch recently. John and I did recently. So kind of like sum up that whole thing, Chris, Mr. Dejan himself, because Vince just called you a good-looking fella. He's going to be alone for 7 days next week. Oh, that's right. You're going on vacation, too. You could travel to Canada while Sue's in Vegas with us with the Blue Wrench crew. But go ahead and sum it up, Chris.
Oh, Vince ever needs any advice on how to pull the ladies, he can call me. He knows where to find me. Don't struggle in that department. I'm good. Girlfriend Degen is a good one. Some of you have met her because she comes to the casino with me. So we're good in that department. I'm not too worried about the Velveteen Rabbit hurting my chances with the ladies. The ladies like money, all right? And the Velveteen Rabbit wins me money. And that's all I'm going to say on that. So, Vince, if you want some advice, let's say, in the lady department, I already gave you permission. You can use my face on your fake accounts on Tinder or whatever if you want to use them. I gave just you and you alone permission. I have some other pictures if you would like those from back when I did some bodybuilding type things. So if you want the washboard abs and stuff, I can get you those as well. And, you can use them if you want. All right. But I appreciate you calling me a good looking fellow. I do appreciate it. And that's all I'll say on that.
All right. Guys, it looks like we're getting some reaction to John's question about shorts. I'm gonna put since Vince just gave a little bit of advice, or you gave advice to Vince, I'm gonna put some advice up there to all the content providers. This is true that shorts will be monetized starting October 1st ish. And the one thing I want to put out there, I don't have to do it to my videos, and I'm not asking it, but YouTube added something about 60 days ago that wasn't very publicized, and that's the super thanks. It's like you're doing a super chat during a live. Now you can watch any video. If that channel has monetized it and click the super thanks button, you can send that channel $1 or whatever you feel like you want to do. Just like you do through a super chat, it's just on any video. So Vince, thanks for bringing that out to us. Most of us take our money and put it back into our channel and make it better. Some of us rely on the money that we get from YouTube. I've already told you I pay it forward. But thank you for that, Vince. Anybody else want to comment on whatever we just talked about in the last 5 minutes? Because it's getting late. And
I think it was DJ's ability to pull.
No, I have nothing to add to Chris's good looks.
I think I already answered that to Vince in the chat.
All right.
I'm gonna say that you can be short. You can be short, fat, bald, and ugly, but if you can rock one of these,
you got it.
Ladies
you
will
got
come.
it.
Trust me, right?
Oh, there you go. Guitar always
there
gets them, right?
I only have my humor, and that's it.
Yeah, don't make me run down to the other studio, John. Don't make me run down there.
Oh, I know it.
So let's go ahead and head on to a question. This question can be answered with just a few answers. I'm not going to take it. I'll let you all take it. I'll start with Ed. If you were going to, Ed, I know Ed's answered this. Ed's answer is going to be really short. If you were to hit the tables tonight, what strategy are you going to play? Ed, please let me write my answer down. I know what you're going to say. Go ahead and say it.
I'm going to play tonight.
If you were going to play at the table tonight, what strategy would you play?
On randoms, I'm going to probably play one hit, can't miss. Some of you will call it 6, 7, 8. Is that good? Is that what you want?
Yep, that's good. And the other one I expect you to say is that you don't really play strategy. You kind of like just go with the flow.
I do go with the flow. Yep. I do go with the flow because
best strat is no strat.
Best bet is no bet.
Yep. Yeah, really. There's Leon's answer. Chris, what would you play? We know it's not going to be the Velveteen Rabbit.
Well, if I guess I'm trying to find women, no, it wouldn't be the Velveteen Rabbit. No, it'd probably be like a 6, 7, 8. It's usually what I start out with, and then it might switch into a rabbit, but probably a 6, 7, 8.
All right, Craig.
For other shooters, I would do play the back wall for the DP, and then on myself, it would be a 66 inside.
Dealers hate you. Lay the back wall. Okay, John. What about you? In that big.
What was the question? I'm sorry. What was the question?
If you weren't drinking tonight, if you weren't drinking tonight, had a show to do in a few hours. If you went to play tonight, what strategy would you play?
Oh, it's easy. It's the jackalope all day long. The jackalope, and then it's 250 across on me. Done. That's my whole. That's my whole evening. Yeah.
Let's head up to the Route 66 skill. What would you play?
Mm-hmm.
I would probably start out with the skill 66 and then progress it to 220 and then take one hit and regress and then press to the moon after that.
All right.
Those are my main things I do. And if I'm going dark, I mean that's on the light side. But if I'm going dark, then I'm doing a lay 9. I'm doing a $30 don't pass at the same time, and then I'm looking for a point that's outside, and then I'm going to lay some odds on it. So it just depends. Depends on what the trend of the table shows.
Let's move on to the next question because we only got a couple more, and we're pushing the 2.5-hour time limit. Craps as a hobby in every way is a lot better than playing golf. What do you guys think? I don't play golf, putt golf. I'm not a golfer, but I know we got some golfers here. Somebody take a stab at that. John, you're a golfer. Chris?
About what? I'm trying to understand the question. Yeah.
Craps as a hobby in every way is a lot better than playing golf, which I would agree because I don't golf.
Craps better than golf. That's a crux of the question.
Craps is a mind game. Golf is a body game. Like it's just different. Like there's a physical piece to golf. Yeah,
I disagree.
Well, golf's a mind game too, but golf is a thing you can actually get better at. Like I think anything you can do that you can practice to get better. That's what I like about it. So, and golf is a.
But what if you're a setter?
Well, I mean,
golf is probably the best analogy to a setter that there is, right? Yeah.
No question.
So there's a lot of similarities there.
Well, what I mean though is like as a 55-year-old dude, like getting out and walking a golf course is actually doing something. How old are you? For me. 50. Well, I'm 54, so whatever. But playing golf. I don't know. I walk. I carry and I walk, and I think that's the thing that keeps me in shape. Well, maybe it is. That's why, like,
you get somebody else to carry your bag for you. Get somebody else to carry it for you. They hand you the club. They wipe the club for you, and you're just walking. You're strolling along. You're answering the text from the ladies from the casino the night before. All right.
Wow. I'm not there. I'm not there. My game ain't there. But no, that's the better part. That's why I like golf. I like golf because it gets me off my ass, frankly, and doing something.
There's no money involved in golf unless you're betting your buddies either.
Oh yeah, it's $10 greenies all day long. That's for sure happening. But yeah,
the side bets in golf can add up a lot.
That's true.
And me and one of my buddies in high school, we hustled people on the course, but that's a story for another day.
You are a true degen. Every sense of the word.
Every sense of the word.
Oh my God.
Every way you can to figure out how to bet, right?
This is the thing, right? Everybody knows this. I'm 25. I've been allowed to legally gamble for 4 years. All right. Degen's been gambling since he knew what the word gambling meant. It's been a while.
You're 25. Good God.
Yeah.
Right. Seriously.
I thought it was at least 35.
Yes.
I might not be
daddy. Yes.
I might be your dad. How do you know? Maybe that's
We all have kids. We all have kids younger than you.
Not me.
Oh my.
Older. Sorry, older.
My son's 24. So
This is a fun question, guys. So Ed, did you have a comment you were going to make real quick, guys?
Go ahead.
Denver took the lead, and there's 19 seconds to go. Just in case you weren't watching there, if you're a Broncos or 49ers fan, go ahead, Ed. Did you have anything else to say?
I gave my golf clubs away in 1998.
Oh Lord!
At the turn. After
Seriously?
9 holes at the Diamond, I was playing the Diamondback down in near Tampa, playing with a group of 4. The guy I was in the cart with, I told him I was done at the turn. I was going to buy in the booze, and when we got to the car, I gave him my clubs.
Wow. Game over, by the way. There, it's a game. And I was about an 18 handicap. Played golf 5 times a week. And I gave my clubs away and hadn't picked them up since. Wow. Well, let's move on to the next question, guys. As we continue, it seems like, John, the later we get in the night, where we start 9 p.m. Eastern, and it's going on 11:30 Eastern.
You're going to start earlier
here. Yeah. Well, we can't. Well, we could start earlier, but we've actually peaked on our viewers just about 20 minutes ago. So
we're holding strong at 50.
Yeah. I'm watching. I watch all that kind of stuff. I'm an analytic type guy, and no comments from the peanut gallery on that one. Okay, let's go to a question by, I believe it's Tom. Tom, that's there. He brings up a question. I already did that one. Shoot, how did that happen? Give me a second, guys.
It's because you're an analytics guy.
Yeah, I'm an analytics guy. You're exactly right. So this one comes from a question from our panel right here. It says to content providers, do you watch your own videos after you publish them? Craig, we're going to go to you last. I'm going to say I watch my videos back with the exception of the lives, and I only go back through the lives and 1.5 times to get the rolls when I used to put everything into Bone Tracker. But any recorded video, I always go back and watch because I don't edit, I pick up mistakes and I put them in the description or I put them and pin a comment. So anybody else want to take a stab? Ed, do you watch yours?
Rarely. Usually if there's some question somebody had about something I did, because I'm a terrible dealer, something like that. That's the only time I go back and watch them.
Okay. Chris, Dice Dejan.
I usually watch them back before I put them out on YouTube, so I don't watch them when I post them, unless somebody has a question. Then I'll go back and watch it. But I usually watch it before I post it, because if there is a mistake, I'll usually put like like text on the screen or something saying that there's a mistake there. That's what I do. Yeah, but I don't watch them otherwise.
I watch every one of them. Okay. I really do, because I do what you do, right? You edit them in the software that you use to edit it, whatever. I use Final Cut, and you watch it 30 times while you're editing it to get the words on screen, to get you all that stuff. Right? And then I upload it to YouTube, and then I watch it again just to make sure I didn't F something up. Like that I want to make sure like there was no like. I watched to make sure like I uploaded the right one, that the quality was good, my sound was good. I put it on my TV set to make sure that like you can see stuff. And I've pulled them down right away and go, no, I didn't like how that came out live or on the TV, and I'll recut it and pull a part out or like put an extra little word on there. But I don't trust myself. Like after I upload it, I need to watch it and make sure I didn't put the wrong one up.
Okay,
so
I do that. I do a version of that, I guess. So I do that when the video is downloading from my software, I'll watch it back then, like the whole thing, start to finish. I've watched it how many times as I was editing it, and then because I'll put cards in the video and other stuff, so I have to get those timed properly. So I make a note of when the time was, and then while it's downloading, I'll have it on so I can make sure again. Because then if there's something wrong, I'll stop the download, go back, fix it, and then start re-downloading it again, and I'll watch it from the start again, just to make sure I catch it if I did it again. Yeah. There's a few exceptions where I haven't caught things, but that's just on me not catching it. But I try to catch it in case there is some kind of error. But I watch them while I'm doing it, and then as it's downloading is usually when I watch the full thing.
I'm a subtitle whore.
Wow. Leon,
that's just what I say that because last night's Night Craps episode 2, the very first thing I did was I put out a pass line and I called it a field bet.
Yeah,
we're up so late.
You make mistakes and you can't. Well, for those of us who know who to edit, cool. You can go back and fix that, John. But for the rest of us, you're still learning stuff. Yeah, it is what it is, baby. It's up.
Yeah. Well, I'm such a perfectionist. If I have an extra in a video that I'd like, I pull the whole thing down and I suss all that out. By the way, there's an app called Descript. Have you guys seen Descript yet?
No.
Check out
Descript or Descript?
Oh my, Descript. Descript. Descript.
One
It's
more
an
thing
app
I
that you
have to
can use.
learn.
Oh my God, dude! This thing pulls up. You put your video into it, right, and it shows you every word you said, and you can delete the word and it slices your video out, and it takes all the
Nice.
out. And yes, just by actually changing the words.
Mine would be so.
Yeah. Okay. So or crispy, right?
Mine's all right.
All right.
Point it out to me all the time.
Yeah.
Don't take brown water out of my videos.
No, we certainly don't. But you can, so with Descript, you can literally, you can type out 20 paragraphs and it will speak the whole thing in your own voice. It's learned my voice to the point where I can actually type out the video.
I knew you were a robot. I knew you.
I've never done it.
John is way advanced from everybody else, as usual.
He's an AI.
No, I was going to do it for my school courses. We're going to try and do that for school courses. Make sure we have.
This is programmer. That's what you expect from a programmer, right? The engineer brain at work right there.
Nerd love right here. Nerd love.
Guys, your audio is here. I've actually lost the Zoom video, but you guys are still here. I'm going to try to work on it here just for a second. I'm not exactly sure why we lost that Zoom content. But my editing software, when I do use it, a video coming out tomorrow, I forgot to turn the audio on. It was a good video, so I just had to redub it. But DaVinci Resolve's been doing that word. You say which one you want, like you or and it will actually go out there and do that for you. That's my editing software I use is DaVinci Resolve. Free, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back, rewatch this, write that down, and learn something else. One more thing. So it's a hobby within a hobby within a hobby, right?
Always learning.
Yeah.
Always got to be learning.
Yeah. Always.
Again, what is it?
So I'll jump in and I'll say editing is one of the craziest things, just shooting. So I did one short where all I did was toss the dice down the table and try to get them in shot to music, and it was 15 seconds in slow motion, and it took me 30 minutes to shoot that one video and get it right. So it's crazy. It's just crazy. The amount of work and time and effort you put into this. And
this stuff takes so long.
It's a hobby within a hobby, and learning how it all works. And that was just right in the YouTube app, not using any other editing software. 30 minutes just to shoot that 15 seconds. So
there's a lot.
It is what it is.
when you edit your software, then you have to render it out, and regardless of how long it is, that's one of the things I like about. There's a couple products out there that render as you go, as you're cutting out. It's going to put it in the format that you want, and there are some paid products and some free products out there. But we all are good at well, not good. We all are the way we are because we want to show it. I don't edit because I'm lazy. I edit because I want to see it real. I can pick up because I do so much editing elsewhere. I can pick up when somebody throws a dice and it landed on a 617, and all of a sudden you can see the one on the dice moved a little bit and they made it a 2. That's it happens all the time, guys, all the time. And I say this every week, and I haven't said it yet. If you're watching a channel that's always winning, be leery of that channel. And I think, Ed, you said it a few weeks ago, a few months ago. What we're doing is providing entertainment. There's very little educational value that's there. That's good. It's a little of it, but it's good. But this is mostly for
that's my whole channel.
Purposes.
You're right.
I'm a huge fan of Waylon's style because it's so simple. Waylon does one shot, one take, post it. Maybe it's live. He lets it post later. He's done. No editing. No, but that's done.
That's simple. The way it should be. But people that edit, like you take Jeremy, who does it for a living, he can do it. But as far as me, I'm a jack of all trade and master of none. And this one here from Clay, I'm gonna put this up there. Jeff's better at stand-up comedy, guys. I MC a lot of things. I'm a king of BSer. Craig's currently the king of the mountain. I'm the king of BSers, and I can BS with most of them. We've got one question left, guys. One question. I was gonna take it into overtime, but after I reread it, I'm going to put it up here, and this comes from Dr. S. Now, for those of you who haven't subscribed, Dr. S has a channel, and after I put out my video this morning, the second part comes tomorrow. I think he put the content back up, but go give him a subscribe. I'll put those other channels up before we get done today because I got one more picture I got to show you. The content providers that promote Dice Influence, why don't they focus on slow motion on the toss? Even when I see the slow motion, they still look random to me. I've done some slow motion stuff. I do replay stuff on my stuff, Dr. S, but I do set the dice, and over the course of the last year, I become very comfortable in it. I don't call myself a DI, I call myself a rhythm roller, and I've just building confidence. So if me setting the dice makes me feel more confident, then I'm going to do it. John, you did a lot of slow motion stuff. Ed, I don't know that you have, but you know other content providers that have. Can somebody answer this question for Dr. S?
Well,
I have slow motion video from Ed, actually.
Slow motion takes a long time to do, number one. It's very boring to watch, number two. And number three, I don't know that, you can, once the dice hit the wall, then you're creating more random than your toss. So, I've done a lot individually on myself. I said John some year and a half ago or whatever, but who the hell wants to watch a slow motion video? Unless it's a beautiful shot. I don't have any. I don't ever catch any on slow motion. I always catch bullshit.
Yeah, but then Arnell, I think it was last Craps chat, said he did one of those, and it had like most views of any video he ever did. So
yeah, but I'm not in it. And, I'm not in it for the views. It's just how do you? It's a matter then of trying to go in and edit a slow motion video into what you're shooting as a live. I shoot mine as a live video, and then I just upload it. I just don't fool with it. I don't fool with it.
Before I hand this off to John, I missed this from Big AZ, but he makes good point here because we're talking about content providers. Behind the scenes stuff, only YouTubers would understand. YouTubers don't really like to talk about it because it sounds like we are complaining. And Big AZ says, "Trust me, we have enough being committed to our channel, and it's time consuming." Okay, John, go ahead and kind of jump off what Big AZ said in the slow motion thing.
Well, the slow motion thing is hard. Like I've done a bunch of it, so. For me, and again, I'm still novice level dice influencer, right? So I'm trying really hard. So when I do a slow mo, I could slow-mo 20 shots. And of the 20 shots, maybe 4 of them were actually shots I would say, that was one that I did what I thought it was going to do. That's the one I want to slow-mo. Because if I think I got it right, I want to show you that one and say, well, let's break that down and see how random that thing actually is. But 30 minutes of slow-mo is like a file that you can't get downloaded off your phone. It's really hard to get the filming done and make it work. And it's kind of boring, but I do agree. Like when you see it on slow-mo, you go, oh, that looked like a car accident. And it does. It looks really bad in slow-mo, and I'll never deny that. Unless you know what you're looking for in the slow motion, to the average person looking at a slow-mo shot, they're going to, okay, that was random, was crap. When Ed and I looked at his shots, and he sent me 4 or 5 shots in slow-mo, and I'm like, Ed, that's a mess. And he's like, yeah, but let's take a look at what I was trying to do. Let's take a look at what the dice did, and then we can break it down from there. And he's like, this is what I would adjust after seeing that. And if you do that, you're kind of the mechanic of the thing. And it's a tool to use for folks like Ed and for George that can really break it down. For a user or a viewer to see that, it's confirmation bias. It's like, oh, yeah, that was a disaster. You suck. Can't be done. And there's nothing to be gained by that. I think slow motion is a tool to be used by somebody who's in it. Does that make sense? And it sounds like I'm kind of punting on the question. But I don't know how else to answer. I mean,
well,
I would say
if you see somebody showing a bunch of slow-mo videos and they're all like, they're like showing Hardway set, which is the most popular, and they're looking beautiful in the air. You don't see them land, and then they show you a Hardway. I'm like, yeah, well, go on to the next channel.
Yep.
No. I would tend to agree with that too. There's a question here, and go ahead, John.
I would say it's got to be goal based, right? You all know, like I've been talking a lot of smack about how I'm throwing right now, right? The toss that I'm doing is designed to count the number of times the dice roll over. That's it, right? So slow motion would actually help with that. To see that in slow motion, if I could say to you, hey, my dice are rolling over an even number of times, 80% of the time, I could use slow mo to prove that. Right, to prove the energy release of what I'm seeing. So for that toss, it might help, but I'm not sure about for other things. People just read into what they want to see on both sides of that. I think Ed's right about that. I think you gotta be careful about it because you don't want to send the wrong message, and I think you feed the beast sometimes too.
Well,
personally, I hope you never prove that dice influence works.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to go into, Ed.
You know what's funny? I've had people.
Now,
I have had people get really mad at me for what I'm doing. Some folks are really pissed off that I'm doing what I'm doing to try and prove this the way that I'm trying to prove it. And
I hope you prove it doesn't.
I know.
So I was actually going to work into this comment, and guys, I've noticed that some of you are asking questions without the cue, and I'm missing some stuff here because we're going to be wrapping the show up here in just a little bit. But here's a good point from Scott Manson. He says, if dice influence was real, why would you want to sell it and not use it for yourself? Like the get rich quick schemes, that secretly are just there to sell you to get rich quick schemes. I'm with Ed. I hope that it's proved that it doesn't happen, but I feel on my game, especially over the past year, it's increased, and my 7-roll ratio or 7-out ratio, whichever way you want to talk about it, I see a difference. Do I do it all the time? No, because not to borrow a word from another content provider, I don't consider myself in shape to be able to do that, but I feel that muscle memory is important for what John's doing with his bass, whether you're bowling, you're golfing, you're tennis, you're playing the piano, whatever you're doing, muscle memory is key, and if it makes me feel better, I'm going to do it. And John, I hope we don't prove it. I hope when you get done with your 20 or 30,000 rolls, you're going to show a 7-out ratio or 7-roll ratio of 6 to 8. I just hope when you're done, that's where it is, because people like Ed and George and other people that believe in it, you see.
Well, there's that word though. I don't want to hear. I said this the other day. I don't want to hear believe in it. Believe in it feels like it's some phantom that we're chasing, and it's not. It's possible or impossible. Is it possible to grip, throw, and release the dice in such a way that you set them up to maybe have some success on a more regular basis than not? That's it. And Ed will tell you. He's told me this. When you hit the back wall, you're at the mercy of the wall. Right? If you slam them in there and you screw up your toss, you're going to be random, right? It's all about that mechanic piece. I don't know, man. I just
you can only control your mechanics.
Yeah.
You can only control your mechanics. Yep. What you do, how your loft, your grip, your set, your toss, everything involved with your mechanics from your stance till they hit the wall, or really until they hit the table. If they don't hit the table square, you're still screwed. You're at the mercy. So it really depends. You know, there was a question there. Why don't we sell it? I don't sell it. I don't sell it. In fact, I resigned from Axis Power Craps last month. I'm not in the sales market. Okay.
Oh, I thought there was more to that. Ed, I thought you.
Well, I mean, you know,
point blank.
Nope.
I resign. Nope. You know, I don't sell it. I'm not into selling. You know, here's the thing. You either want a quick fix or you want to practice. If you want a quick fix, you're not going to practice. If you want to practice, you're going to practice and you're going to perfect your craft. Those are the only two things that are out there. Everything else is totally random, and the quick fix is generally random. So you're either out there looking for a quick fix that you're not going to get because you're not going to work your ass off to go do it. People like me that don't have a life, we're going to throw craps. We're going to throw them 2 hours a night, 30 minutes in the morning. You know, we're just going to do it. Those that do have a life and don't believe in it, I don't care.
Well, that's like what Waylon says here, and it's kind of a, if you read into it, he could be talking on both sides, but I get Waylon's point here. DI isn't real, and the exclamation point, then stick with the random Randy, go 160 across, let me know how that works for you. So, you know, it's okay to believe it, and it's okay to believe that it's a fallacy, but if it makes you more confident, I think that, you know, you keep doing it. I do agree with a couple people in there that said, if somebody's setting dice, and I'm not going to talk about somebody I play with all the time because he has a tendency to be slow, and with the way that he sets his dice, it can take him a few minutes between it. But at the same standpoint, he's doing everything over and over again, and I hate people that set the dice and don't look at their landing zone and just throw the dice. Maybe they're good enough. Maybe they got eyes off the side of their head. But, you know, to me, you put the sport together, you put the mechanics together and the muscle memory together, and to me, I feel more comfortable doing it. This conversation we can take into overtime. We'll leave it there. If anybody wants to join that conversation, you know, come on into the Zoom soon because we're going to be wrapping this show up. Go ahead, John.
No, I was just agreeing with it. Yeah, it'll be a fun Zoom.
Yep. Yeah, we'll take it to Zoom. All right. Anybody else have anything? Because I got a couple. You know, I'm a funny stand-up comedian here. I got a couple things we're gonna go out the show with. We seem to be. We still have this viewership is just jumping. It's just jumping up and down. Let me go ahead and.
Cool.
Let me. Okay, I was gonna kill John's audio. So in any event,
I'm back.
Guys,
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. We're going to wrap this up. At the bottom, guys, I withheld scrolling all the channels. I've been trying to let them go through. If I've missed your channel, if you're on here, if you know a channel that's not on there that you'd like to see on there, please send it to me. Right now, there's 133 channels. A couple are not there anymore, but I still have channels. Like there's Howard Rock and Roller going across there. You got channels like El Toro, who's got great content and says he's coming back, but I've got him in there. And we've got channels like Greg's channel's not there anymore, but I'm still scrolling them across there. Look, I just mentioned El Toro. So I didn't forget anybody. Please let me know what's going to go on. More people looks like they're jumping and going to come in here and get into the after chat talk. Clay, we don't want to see that. Turn your camera off. Oh my God, please. The part we're going to go ahead and get the show over with. I'll stop rambling on here, guys. I once again, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say a couple things, and we're going to go around the table, and we're going to get out of here with that. I'm going to back up just a little bit. I've got to show you this, guys. This was what came out earlier today from. That was put out there about Chris. There's Chris Sideshow Gamble out there. That's his casino. His casino quest video. Go out there and watch it, guys. It's not a long one. It's about 17 minutes long. It's the 30-minute. He makes the leaderboard. So, Chris, congratulations to you on that as well. I'm going to go ahead and just come on over here to this next one. I'll put these up here. I'm missing a couple here, guys. The channels, all new channels, guys. The subscribers are wrong. Give those guys a like. I've communicated with a couple of them that aren't on our show. I'm trying to get them to come over and participate in our community. It would be nice if they did, but you know, give them a like, give them a subscribe, and just help out the best that you can. We're all here to help one another. And I'm going to finish out here before we go real quick, because John's not going to like this, but I have to put this one up here, John. Before I get to this, let me.
Now you got me confused.
Yeah, nope. I got to put this up here. Last Craps Chat, I had invited Dave to come on, and he's a busy man.
Busy man.
He's got two more videos coming out in the next couple of weeks. Pay attention to his channel. Go to Same Bet. Pay attention to his channel, and I'm not going to make an announcement for him. He's got some information that's coming out. Dave is a wonderful guy. I've been interviewed from him. He's probably the best craps interviewer there is in the business, and I want to give kudos to Dave. Time zone wise, and his schedule has not permitted him to make Craps Chat, but he wished all of us the best. So here you go, John. With that said, I'm going to say I got to put this up here because you mentioned it earlier. Here's the funny part of the show, guys. We're going to get out of here. Come on. And for the record, nobody is allowed to call me Daddy Craps. Now, you know what's going to happen with that, John. Somebody's going to walk up to you in the casino and say, "Hey,
No
Daddy
way.
Craps."
Oh my God.
Craps.
I said that and I was like, oh shit, I should not have said that.
People are going to send you T-shirts.
Oh my God, I know.
Yep. And also because Clay's played with us. Both Clay and I are real big guys. I'm a little taller than Clay, but John looks like a puppy standing between Jeff and I. I was actually looking at my phone trying to find that picture with John that we took in April, and I
look like your kid.
Guys.
I look like your kid in that picture. It's hysterical.
Wow, you know what? I didn't get back to Jim's question, or maybe we did. Jim, I apologize. Badger87, I apologize if we didn't. I'm going to put this up here. We're going to close the show out with, real quick here, guys. Going back to Sideshow Gamble that said this, it's so effing awesome how much this community has grown. Hats off to Jeff, Dylan, and Craps Chat, and everybody on here. Forget Dylan and I. The community has grown. That's the second time I've shown that. I saved it to the end. We're going to wrap this up, guys. We're a 3-hour show. We're going to go into overtime. If you want to join, hit the description below right now. Come on into the chat. Sometimes it goes 20 minutes. Sometimes it goes an hour. We do a lot of dice influencing talk from time to time and some other things. Hit that Zoom button as soon as we get off the air, or come on in now. Let's go around and let's end this show up. Let's start with Leon.
Yeah. Sorry, I was typing in the chat there.
Nope.
Been good. Thanks for putting it on again. It's been great. I got a lot of catch up to do, but I think I'll do most of that in the after Zoom, because I think some of it's for all the presenters and everything. So thanks again. Great show.
All right, Chris.
Pleasure as always, Jeff. Thanks for hosting. Skill, thank you for the idea. Love talking to you guys. Love seeing the chats, and hope everyone has a good night and a wonderful Monday tomorrow. Hope your week starts off wonderfully.
All right, Ed.
Thank you very much for putting us on. I came here to try to help whatever way I can. That's all I'm doing. I appreciate y'all for doing this.
No, thank you. It's all about us. It's not about me. It's not about I. It's all about us. All right, Craig.
Well, it's the
king of the mountain. Craig. Craig, we've lost your audio, Craig.
Oh, how about now?
We got you now.
Oh, there we go. I just want to say thank you to Jeff and Dylan for creating this forum. It's so great to come on and talk with a lot of it. There's a lot of years of experience right here, and there's no other place you would get it face to face like this, since we're all over the country. So right now, Discord is the best place to get it, or the live chats during live shows or any other kind. So this is wonderful. Love it.
All right. Well, let's see. Who else we got here? Did I get everybody in the Joe's Craps Master Journey's with us. Clay was with us. Let's go over to let's give the creator his last words, and then John and I will close it out. Skill, what do you think? We talked an hour and a half today about trying to fill an hour. John came to our rescue because I'm leaving it up to John to repeat everything he said before, and here we are, 3 hours later, and it's another 3-hour show.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get, with Craps Chat. We talk about this and that, and it's all great. I want to, thank again everyone that's come on. Ed, especially, someone that's got, experience, that's had a lot of years of experience. I really appreciate you, sir. My hat's off to you. Thank you so much for coming on and giving your perspective of this. And without us, people that's been here for put in the time and effort for a few years, then we're trying to lead and guide these guys in the right directions. And it's I appreciate all the help I can get. So I just want to let you know that I really appreciate you, sir.
Thank
you. Thank you, Jeff, for doing this. You're the wizard behind the veil. So I really appreciate you for everything that you do. So everybody's got a great part to play, and it's one big happy community, and that's the way we like it. So I'm glad this is working out for everyone. That everyone enjoys this. So it's great fun. So I'm happy as a lark. So I just can't say any more than that. So,
all right, I'm going to say my word.
Everyone.
I'm going to say my words before John. Everybody that's here, stay after the outro. It's about 25 seconds long. Get out of the show. We'll come back in and we'll have a chat. Anybody wants to join the after show talk, come on into Zoom. Description's down below. It looks like somebody's going to go out and play some Crapsy. So have at it. If there's nobody out when I get done, you never know, I might come up, but it looks like somebody's going to take care of that. So with that said, John, please repeat what we started talking out earlier today of the show out with what's coming up with the fundraiser.
You got it. So the 24-hour Crapsathon this year is going to be in support of Steve over at Press by One. He's got stage 4 throat cancer. As you know, he's been under treatment. So we decided, he asked us actually to help run a fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. That's going to be held November 18th in Las Vegas at Casino Quest, Friday through Saturday. It'll probably be 26 hours the way it's going to work out, it looks like. So join me there. More details on the morning show. We'll be talking about this probably every day for the next month, getting ready for it. But yeah, that's the big thing. We have a date. So I would love to see all of you out there in Vegas at Casino Quest. They're going to lock us in the mall for 24 hours and let us play on those tables. It's going to be stupidly fun. So get your asses out there, get your tickets, see you out there. And that's it. Great show. Awesome. Thanks for having me on here, Jeff. I appreciate it.
All right.
This is my favorite show of the month. I love whenever you do this thing. It's like, on the airplane, I'm like, can I get some internet here so I can watch you guys talk? Like, I love this show. This is my favorite thing going. So
I can't believe the last time you were on the show from the plane.
Yeah, totally.
I can't believe that you were. Look, guys, we're going to be almost because of the scheduling. The next show was my last thing I had to say. Looks like October 16th is going to be the next Craps Chat show. We're getting into the fall football. This thing has been good. Looks like we still had about 45 people still signed on. We're going to end the show. Come join us in the after show. Could be 5 minutes. Could be not much more than an hour because I'm tired myself too. Guys, till next time. As always, please be safe and play smart.